group of adventurers journeys back to Miletus after their trip to the port of Orestus, having found Varias's eidolon and enlisted his help to help decipher the mask. You've headed back to look for Kahir. On your way back, you ran into a strange figure who was an old business partner, apparently, of Varias. She claims to be there to finish a debt, but only once Varias's work has been carried out, and she has tagged along with the group, joining the group of adventurers. On the trip back, it was a little more eventful than you had planned, as you came across a chimera. Electing to fight instead of run, you took down the first one, only to discover that there was a second. Running and hiding, having taken some spoils from the first one, you all gathered your wits and decided that you could go for round two. And shortly after, the other chimera also laid slain. And I believe that is where we left off. So, if you would like, second chimera has just been slain by a leader standing on top, driving her rapier through the three heads at once and whipping it out. Lands on the ground gracefully.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
She's kebabbed.
I look around. Is there anything else coming?
Vias, can you look for us real quick?
We have perception.
Oh my goodness, that's horrible. 12. No, 13.
What was it, 19?
Oh, good.
A nat 19. Yeah. You look around, you can't see anything else on the horizon. Varias is also still scanning, kind of panicked.
Yep.
And says, I think that might be all of them.
Okay.
I hope.
I'm so sorry, we just killed 2 chimeras! He just lets out.
Fairly close together? Like, or are they separated?
Yeah, I think they were almost like they were only like 10, 15 feet apart.
Well, I mean, yeah, the first chimera.
had to like jump over the one dead body to get to the other one because they were that close.
Yeah.
The first one we killed doesn't have its heads and tail because we hid them in the cave down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the question.
The chimera came down to expect the body, though, right? Like,
yeah.
They landed near.
So just to clarify, three heads of the first one and the tail are out of in the tree line up against, I think it was the cliffside or something like that. You said.
I think we found a cave. It was a cave, wasn't it?
It was a rock.
Yeah.
It was a rock, like a rock, and in that was just like a little inlet. Not really a cave, as much was like an overhang of the rocks.
Right.
But you've just kind of. I've assumed that's where you've left the heads and the tail, so that you can, so that you could go out and into there and start the fight without carrying all that stuff on you.
Right.
Okay. Would we know what the more valuable parts of a chimera would be? Like in terms of like, is the dragon head more valuable than the other? I know the dragon scales are valuable, but like there was the cockatrice, a ram, and the blue dragon for the first one. What was the other one?
The other one, I believe, like I said, was a red dragon, a lion, and a unicorn.
Lion. That's right. Yeah. Surely the unicorn's got to be. There's got to be some value for the unicorn.
Roll me a.
Sure.
Yeah, a red dragon, a bull, and a unicorn.
Bull and a unicorn.
Could be history.
I think.
Or, Arcana.
I think it's more of a. I think. History
Survival.
Or Arcana. If you're proficient with it, you can roll.
No, I'm not proficient with either. Okay.
History or Arcana? No, I'm not proficient with either.
I'm proficient with history.
It's not a nature. Or survival.
Chimeras aren't a natural thing.
And isn't it
So
more
no.
figuring out?
Yeah,
size
I rolled it.
What's worth more?
I rolled a natural 1 for a 5 total.
Yeah, and you've never
okay.
tried to sell a chimera before.
I mean,
What were you
Seen one,
saying,
yeah.
Joel?
Oh no.
It's a weird check because you kind of it's like none of you have killed a chimera. None of you have attempted to sell chimera parts, right? So
Oh,
none of you
yeah.
are really like you know that dragon scales are sought after things.
hmm.
And maybe you know that unicorns are rare. You know, these are things that you guys know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
How much
Okay.
money they're worth.
I think we should. But Amos is going to address the group and say, I think there are specific things that we should be looking for on each of the heads, i.e., the unicorn horn, dragon scales, possibly the lion's teeth.
No, it was
the
a
other
it was a bull. It wasn't a lion. Yeah, it was a bull.
The
It's a
bigger
bull,
one.
was it?
Yeah.
It was a bull.
Yeah, bull.
Okay, so
The
maybe
second one
bulls.
it was a bull, a unicorn, and a red dragon.
And a red dragon. The other one was a cockatrice, a ram, and a blue dragon.
Okay. So like bull would be the horns, and on the previous one, like we could take the feathers of the cockatrice. Maybe the ram has its horns as well, and the blue dragon you just go for the scales. Would we know if a dragon head has something valuable in its throat in terms of fire breathing abilities? Is there? Would we know that?
I think the most that you guys would know is that collectors would pay money for the heads as a
Yeah.
for something to mount.
Yeah.
You know that much. As far as like arcane uses of different things for spells and for like resources and that kind of thing, I don't think any of you guys would really know any of that.
I think.
I would like to make my way to the road and look down both ways on the road to see if there are any caravans or wagons or stuff headed this way.
Or hoplites.
Just anything
roll
that
me a
could,
perception check.
that we could
Well, actually, you
gosh,
don't need to
what are
roll
these?
perception. It's a bright sunny day. You look down the road, and either way, you can't see anything.
I think.
Okay.
We're pretty messed up, aren't we?
Weakness?
Are we messed up still?
Some of you are.
I think I'm fine.
I think we need. Yeah, I think you didn't take a hit.
I reset all my
Didn't
stuff.
Didn't you get clocked by a fire breath right before the end of the fight?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know if I got hit at all.
I don't remember.
I'm sure you
I
got
think we
clocked by a fire
both,
breath at the
rolled.
very end.
I thought we both rolled saved. We both took damage, but it wasn't like
Half damage.
Like
or-
half damage. You both took like 16 points of damage.
yeah.
I think
Got back into astral.
I'm happy to carry whatever. So
Everyone's full in astral.
I think
Alright, we have six heads. We have
between-
6 heads, and we have
Yeah.
four
think-
of us. We can only take
There's
4
So
heads.
I think-
Alator is
Vyas.
still here.
I think
Okay, right.
definitely the
And
group,
Vyas.
And
And
Vyas is there.
the red and the blue dragon, I think are non-negotiable. We grab them.
Hmm.
I agree
Same
with
as the
the
unicorn.
unicorn.
Unicorn sounds
unicorn
pretty
as
sick.
The unicorn sounds pretty. Yeah.
So you guys can work out that with
I
all
did
of
some
you,
blue.
you can carry all the heads, but you will just move slower.
Yeah.
Like you can take all those heads with you.
We
Probably
need to.
with Lovely carrying too.
Does any of us know how to skin or take the scales off a dragon's tail?
You can try.
I'm
guys have
wondering
been
if I'm
hunting,
the
I
right
hope you know
person.
how to skin
Yeah,
stuff,
actually,
right?
yeah. You know what? Yeah, let's.
Every time they
I'll
go out, they come out back empty-handed.
Hey, we killed a Nyx-born sheep, all right?
Something that was meant to be alive. but-
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
and it also arguably could have attracted the chimera towards us as well. So I mean,
Good point.
Some would say it was a bad
the
idea.
de-
Yeah, I may have made that joke last week. I can't remember.
I'm gonna try. I want to try and see if I can take the scales off of the dragon. Or do we just try and sell the? Do we sell the tail as a tail with the score and just let the person do what they want with it, or do we try and
you
skin
struggle
it
to drag
ourselves?
it into the woods, my man. I don't know how we're gonna
Can
travel.
Vyas-
It did.
It is heavy. It
Hmm.
is big.
Okay, all right.
Like
I
it-
can try. I might try. I'm gonna try and skin the dragon
Roll
tail.
a survival check to
Yeah,
attempt
I
to
guess.
skin it.
I guess either way we're gonna have to.
13.
You can do it. It's not pretty.
Mm.
Like you don't skin it cleanly, and you damage a few of the scales, and like you don't get like a nice clean kind of like cut of it. It's kind of messy at the edges, but you have what is a dragon's tail of
Skin of
skin,
scales and skin.
scales. It's just no longer got, and like there's a little bit of like chunks of meat on it that's a little bit nasty, but
Yeah.
like
All right.
it's much lighter, and you can probably throw it over your shoulder a bit easier than what you could the tail.
Is the other tail the same?
No.
No, it was the body of a lion, wasn't it?
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I'm happy to carry 2 heads. I don't care which head. I'll carry 2 of the heads, and then if you guys want to carry a head each, then we can.
I would have run to that. I blew a dragon.
I'll grab the unicorn.
Okay. I guess I'll take the So wait, Fluffy, you're
Later, I'll
carrying
take what's
2
left.
I'll take-
dragon heads.
I'll take whatever heads are there. I don't care. Whatever's heaviest.
Must feel weird carrying the ram head. Is that too?
Well, that's what I was about to say. I'm not most comfortable carrying a ram's head, to be honest.
The ram's head.
Holding it in front of you, just like.
I've got
Yeah.
whatever 2 heads that you guys don't have. I'm just holding. All
I guess I'll just take the bull's head.
right. So cut off the heads, and yeah.
Oh,
Grab.
yeah, do you want us to roll for it?
Nah, it's
Already
fine.
did.
Not
I
for
can
the
try with
second
my
one.
rapier.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
And we start
everyone,
making our way to.
yeah, and you all. This has taken a bit of time, as like you've fought and now you've done this. You're probably looking at, I think we said we're about a day's travel out, and you guys have traveled less than half a day at this point. So it'll probably take you 2 days with carrying everything, with the amount that you're going to have to rest and take breaks between carrying all this stuff. It'll probably take you about 2 days travel to get there.
Just a query.
Mhm.
Do we leave the chimera bodies where they are, and how heavy are they if we wanted to move the chimera bodies?
They are huge.
Yeah, okay, cool. We'll leave them there then. That's fine. Do we burn them, or
Why?
I
Well,
don't
later
know.
we would ask Aleta if there's any special rituals for that, right?
Nah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, a later kind of is just no. There's no rituals. Just these are abominations. So it's they
I
have.
don't think we waste our time.
Do we brand it as if to say this is our work, or
We have heads. We
You
know
mean-
we do.
You mean like
Yeah.
this and starts peeing on the body?
Marking it.
no? That's no. I just want to make sure that.
We have the same dilemma now where we don't have a group name. How do we?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, what do we call ourselves? No, yeah, we'll just move. We'll just go back to, I guess, that rocky outcrop like area, and
Grab all the gear and
yeah, is it
start trekking.
is it about sunset, or are we
No, at midday.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
You've got half
Okay,
a
cool.
days.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
We'll just.
Yeah, so
I think
guess
we'll
we
just.
start traveling.
Do we stay off the road, or do we want to go on the road?
No, we want to stay on the road in case there's somebody that can help us.
Well,
That's fair.
the main reason we were off the road last time was because
because of
there
the
was
chimera.
chimeras.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yep. All right, I'm done. Let's go back to the road.
If we just travel on the road, and then when we go to the same camp, then we maybe just head off and look for some sort of outcrop.
Say we look pretty intimidating at the moment.
Yeah.
Heads.
And blood and.
The
So
blood of the chimera.
as you all start traveling, Aleta sends out Gideon, the little cat that looks like a miniature Fluffy, out ahead, like a few hundred feet and further to scout ahead, and then occasionally reports back and looks through its eyes. She kind of just goes along, and then will occasionally just stop and like kind of glaze over as for a couple of seconds before continuing on. Kind of keeps watch for everyone. Doesn't report anything, and other than that, it's just a bit of it's a slog of a day to finish up the travel. But you
Could we make it to the
again,
pools of Lith?
Hmm?
Could we make it back to the pools of Lith?
you've passed the pools of Lith.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
Yeah,
were
we
off the
came
road
across that
earlier.
when we broke off to like head towards Arrestus.
I
made it
didn't
back to
actually
the
didn't
road, we
narrate
would've
you guys
passed-
going
we would've-
past it, but you guys have already passed that.
Okay.
Because that was after. Yeah, that was before you got back to the main road. But yeah, so the rest of the day travels on without much fuss, and you again don't see anyone else on the roads.
I guess word hasn't gotten out yet that we've killed
Yeah,
them.
that's a good point. We're keeping an eye out.
There
for-
wouldn't be, right?
Right.
if word of Chimera on the road.
Hmm. So no guards or anything. No one.
They-
We passed
the one
no
that
one.
We passed said they won't be back for a few days because they were heading
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
somewhere.
but surely they'll be sending out other patrols in the
Well,
Well,
meantime.
they said not from Miletus. There may be somebody coming from
Acros.
Rotessa.
Ac-
Or
yeah,
Acros, sorry,
Acros.
Acros.
Yeah, but no,
Okay.
but they wouldn't know that. So
That seems strange. I'm weirded out by that. Fluffy's like, what's going on? Why don't I see anyone?
Yeah. So what are you doing for a camp?
I think we'll just make camp off the road like we have been the last couple of nights.
Just a little off
there's
the
enough room.
A little off the
50
road.
meters or
Yeah,
100
a little
meters
off,
the
just a
road.
little off the road.
Are you still visible from the road?
I want to say,
like,
Do you want to be?
Off
do you
the
still
main
wanna be
road
visible
at the
from road?
start of
I
the
don't-
woods.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to be visible from the road. I would like to have a good sight on the road. But if it's okay with you guys, I would like to be able to be off the road. I mean, because the heads of these beasts are valuable, obviously. So people could try to attack us for them. You know, take them. For
Yeah, I
themselves.
agree.
So I'd
Yeah.
like to protect them in some way. I think it'd be foolish to stay right on the road.
I agree.
Within viewing distance of the road.
Yep, I agree.
Maybe even as we camp, cover them up with our cloaks or something, so that it's not obviously out and open.
So you all gather up and set up camp, kind of just in like the tree line off to the side. You're not like super far into the tree line, but enough that you shouldn't be seen by passers-by. It's cold meals for the night, as you don't light a fire to keep your trail down, keep your scent down. And the night goes through. I'm not gonna make you roll every single night for watch. The night passes by. You all keep watch separately, and it's a very very still, very calm night. You can just hear this all you hear throughout the night are some animals in amongst the woods that you're in, and a gentle breeze. And everyone kind of just wakes up in the morning to the usual sight of Amos making some food, although he's not really cooking. He's just kind of doing what he can. And Aleda kind of sits there and pulls out her book and sits there for about half an hour to an hour, just going through her book in the morning.
So how about it? Did you feel like seeing what's? I know you like to go hunting.
I mean, I'm always down. Let's have a look. Let's go have a look.
Roll me a
Maybe
survival
like-
check to see if you can find any tracks.
18.
Hey,
You find some tracks of what look to be maybe some rabbit, maybe a rabbit,
Okay.
small.
I follow the tracks.
Okay.
Can I come with to help, like guide, like to
Give it
help?
to help. Yep. So you can
Yeah.
roll with advantage for the survival check.
I can. Nice.
It has,
Uh,
the help action allows that.
15.
Okay, so still the 18. Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you find those tracks. You start tracking them. You go along for a while. Roll me a stealth check to see how kind of quietly you're moving through the woods.
With advantage or just normal?
This is a straight stealth. You both
Okay.
gotta roll it because you both go.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if it
Uh,
is I'm following. I'm definitely there.
13.
Stealth 17. Shut up.
I'm a big man. I'm a big lion.
You follow the tracks, and then eventually you hear a scurrying off in the distance.
No.
You don't get the chance to really see it.
That was you.
Darts off.
Yeah, I know. Alright, do we trudge back to the camp? Having a look around to see if there's anything on the way back.
Roll me perception, why not?
Advantage?
Can I
Oh
mess out his
man.
eyes while he looks?
11. 11.
Just nice
Yeah.
forest, not much.
17.
Even with a...
I'm-
I've got +7 perception, I'm rolling so terribly.
Yeah, we head back to camp. Unfortunately, having missed some spoils, the hunting
Yeah.
doesn't bode well for you.
And I
in
put the
morning. You
line,
don't
I
wanna-
put
you
the
don't wanna
sheep
waste
down,
too
didn't
much
I?
time.
I put the
While
neat
they were
spawn
out,
sheep, yeah.
While they're out hunting, I'm watching Aleda. Does she look like she is meditating and studying to not be interrupted?
She's focused on her book. Not necessarily not meditating, more of a study.
Okay, well, I want to approach and then start up a conversation and ask just walk up and say, hey, what are you studying?
Just well, it's just my book, my magic. Kind of
Nice.
this
You were,
quite nicely like bound book.
mhm. You were very impressive in the battles yesterday. I was a bit I was thinking you were a lot lesser than you were just by your appearance. Not more of a. I guess I was thinking more along the lines of the study, like the tutor of a god instead of a mighty warrior like you presented yourself yesterday. So I was very impressed.
I seem to have that effect when it comes to combat. I do not. It is a helpful and a hindrance to present as something different sometimes, and it benefits me greatly that I can fight the way I can.
Yeah, I imagine so. Especially traveling by yourself. How far did you say that it was from where you came to here? Like, did it take you a while?
Took me a few days. I had to travel
okay.
from I was out west of Acroas, so took me some time to follow the signs.
So to follow up, and you were there, so you know the wilderness and how far out we were away from kind of the civilization and everything. It was difficult for us to find our way, and we actually had to have, to speak with an oracle and have her direct us in this way. How is it that you were able to find Arestus' Rot? Like, what led you there to Arestus' Rot to find us, or to find Vaya? Sorry.
Gestures over to Vayas. It was 6 years ago, but the way was as he said. I just didn't know when to go there. I went and saw it not long after I'd killed him when he'd asked, and it was just a river then, but I received a sign and I came back and the river was dry, mostly, and I saw your camp. And then I heard you discussing with Vayas, and here I am.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just curious because it was very cryptic in the way that we found the information that we needed to get here. To get to the Arestus' Rot. So
How did you find it? It is.
So when we inspected the mask of Vyas's returned, the mask of the Phanex mask, there was an encryption on the back of the mask that we decoded, and it told us basically. I don't remember the phrase exactly, but I would tell her what the phrase was.
Yeah.
About
Hidden from
following,
mortals and gods.
What's up, Darth?
Lies with
How you doing, man?
Rot, I believe was the.
Yeah.
Love you.
And that rang familiar with the Oracle Kahir when we were discussing it with her. So she was able to point us in this direction.
Mm. Yes, well, Vyas had said that Orestus's, I believe he used the term the court of Orestus as where I would need to be, and gave me a rough area, I guess. That was, 6 years ago, but that was the deal that was made, and then a few days ago I got a kind of a strange sign from Phaenax, and I believed that was what told me it was time to finish this.
Myself and
I'd say you're back.
Amos are back. Do we hear that? Do we hear the conversation?
I think you probably get in and around that part of the conversation.
What was your sign? We had something similar. I want to know what you saw. We may have had something similar. I want to know what you saw.
You guys saw the mask glow, didn't you?
Everything went grey,
from color and
except for the mask.
Don't mind me while I go back through my notes and figure out, because this was information that I gave to a certain someone who is not here. Ha 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 ha. Give me a second, please.
I gotta love forcing the DM to roleplay the character.
Yeah. He's like, I go up and talk to him, and I'm like, crap.
Yeah, nice stuff. Well, I hope you can enjoy this. We're having a lot of fun doing this D&D stuff on the reg, so
decisions were made.
I hope you enjoy.
This is canon. This is what. Keep in mind, this is what happens when you don't rock up.
This is as canon as it gets.
This is you can have that as a threat if you like.
Should make her do stuff till she gets a point.
So. I was over in to the west of Akros, and I saw the sun appear to melt. It was a strange sight, as it fell and melted like coin, and seemed to turn to coins as it fell, and it seemed to fall over about this kind of in the direction that it would take for me to come here. So I took that as the sign that I needed to come over to the court.
And
but Bias had described, he described where to go though. Like
he told me more or less where. Like he told me to come to the court of Orestus, and then I just didn't know. He said I'd know when, and well, there's not much clearer signs than when something like that happens.
This vision, is it more? It doesn't mean anything more to you as a devotee. You're a devotee of Phaenax, correct?
No, I follow.
No.
And I am mainly a devotee of Athreos, and I attempt to see his will done. In helping people from the passage from life to death, and making sure that isn't corrupted. Now, in my younger days, I may have made a mistake in that I made a deal for someone to return, and I now seek to repay that.
I'm curious, was there any repercussions?
I'd rather not speak of that, unfortunately. But I was not viewed at kindly.
I know a bit about that.
Those scars were not given to me by the order, but kind of just like touches them, but not all battles are easy, are they?
I feel that. I'm sorry to interrupt your morning study, but I just had a few things on my mind. I wanted to ask you about. And
That is all right.
talk you through.
I have said I'm an open book, and I do not seek to hide information from you. I must do what must be done, and from there.
That's nuts, Darth. That's
I do not
crazy.
know. This is
Nice one. I haven't played Target in so long. I actually removed it from my PC.
To write. on
I just haven't played it for so long.
Yeah, and we share common interests, so
Yeah.
want to kind of be on the same page.
To uncover Varias's secrets, and then we can go from there. But I must get back to my study, and then we have a lot of work to do. And she kind of just looks over at the head that's resting
I
on
love
her
heads.
thing.
All right. Well, no time like the present. Lift up 2 of them, and then I think we just
Well,
I just start
before we
trudging.
take off, I wanna use prestidigitation on, I guess, on the heads and clean them up in a way that would make them more presentable. For when
I'm so
we do
sorry,
arrive
Darth.
to Miletus, so that they look,
Presentable
nice in like a very good condition, as good a condition as they can be.
as a head that's been cut off.
Aleta also kind of goes over and creates a small fire and kind of burns where the cuts are on the heads, and just makes cauterizes the cut and makes it a much more cleaner wound, so that it's not like festering. It becomes a much like a closed wound, helping making them look a lot more kind of whole.
The smell is pungent. Yeah.
Yes, there's a smell of cooked meat at the action of it. But you all pick up your gear with some nicer looking, but still, tongues out, eyes rolled back heads of a chimera, as you continue your journey.
Why is my dragon doing this? He's a
Is that
weed.
an
It's
Is that the
Please do, Darth. Please do, mate. I'd be keen to look at that. That'd be cool.
You journey for about half a day before you see some figures behind you.
Are they recognizable to us, figures?
They, from the distance that they're at when you see them, they look like 2 people on horses.
Okay.
Oh, potentially.
So, all those hoplites were on, those guards were
obviously
on.
they're obviously going to overtake us, so I think we need to step off the side of the road and make sure that what we're carrying isn't blatantly obvious what we're doing, because I don't want to get robbed. So,
It's fair. It's alright. I'll look after you, princess.
As they start to get closer, and you guys
Or
kind
even
of
attempted to be
move off
robbed,
to the
right?
side, you notice that there's the 2 riders, and they've each got another. They've got an extra 2 sets of an extra 2 horses each, also running with them.
Empty.
Oh
No,
dear.
just horses.
Just horses. 2 riders with 6 horses in total.
Did you say they were hoplites?
As they've gotten closer, you can see that they're dressed very similar to the Melitan hoplites that you saw.
they're not the 2 soldiers that we discussed or we talked
From this
to.
distance, you're not sure.
We don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Can I have a proper look?
They're dressed in the same outfits,
Yeah.
but they're still like 300 meters off. You can't make out like a facial.
Oh, we'll
thing to
keep
figure it out.
moving. Like I said, it's like Lyndall said, but they're gonna pass us.
Just keep moving
As-
to the side.
Yeah.
I guess.
As you guys have kind of moved off the side, they peel off and head towards you guys.
Okay. Well, we just wait
They-
and I'm gonna pull out my great axe just in case.
Okay. They as they approach you, none of them go for weapons.
That's fine.
Neither of them. go for weapons.
I'm
They
gonna
just
hold
run
it just in case. I'm leaning on it, just sort of leaning. Yeah.
Yeah. They kind of come up, and they maybe stop 20 meters off,
Mhm.
and the lead one was, and kind of just takes a second to look at all of you and sees the heads that you're carrying,
Yep.
and is like,
Yes.
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 Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Us.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is us.
You're welcome.
we
Would you like to get off your horse and bow?
We're a
please?
humble group, I think.
oh my blessings of Heroes upon you. My gosh, that's quite a feat you've pulled.
Not just feet, we've got heads, we've got tails.
I picked up some dragon scales.
When did you do this? We saw you not but 2 days ago.
Oh, so it is you guys. Okay.
Yes, sorry,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
And he removes his helmet, and you see a black-haired kind of with a kind of a bushy beard. Looks like a gentleman maybe in his mid-40s. And kind of takes his helmet off and says, "Yes, I'm Throtus. I am the scout that you met earlier. This is this fella," and he kind of points back and he's like, he doesn't say much. But well done.
Are you guys? I can't help but notice you've got some
Extra horses.
We've got a lot of stuff to carry.
Yes, I mean, well, we had the horses because it's faster to ride. You basically give a horse a break as you keep going. It was so that we could get back faster. We had urgent news that Akros was going to send out some fighters to deal with this.
Deal with
may
us?
be necessary. Not you. And he kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I was going to say they can try.
I would not put that upon you. But that's yes. So they gave us some horses so that we could move with the information faster. But yeah, this
We've got
is
something
if
more
you
valuable than information.
look. We still need to move. We have very important information. But I could give you one of the horses. We're quite close now. If you wanted to use it to lay up with the heads, make it might ease your travels.
That would be amazing.
We still need to push on ahead. We can announce that you're coming as well. Make sure that there's
A crowd,
there's
yes.
people there.
Do we want to be announced, fellas? I don't know if that's a good idea.
Should, like let them know once we've arrived.
How about you
I'll
let
go
the
and
12?
I can go and let. I mean, I cannot speak directly to the 12, but I can speak to my garrison commander, and he can.
Okay.
And we can essentially have. I mean, with the horse, probably going to take you. Maybe the rest of maybe if you pushed into the night, you could get there tonight, and then you could have an audience with the 12 tomorrow. We could make sure that's all set up.
I'm down. That sounds good to me, boys.
Sounds
Lady,
good.
I'm okay with that.
Oz.
He hops off his
Complaints, yeah.
his horse and goes over and kind of undoes the rope that's tied to the horse at the back.
I'll walk up and I'm kind of helping or there to take the reins or to take over from that. And I ask him, the next, when you arrive in town, where do you want to meet up? I don't want to necessarily meet in the middle courtyard in the middle of town, especially if you're arriving at night. Is there somewhere obvious that we could go that could meet up in order to return the horse and get safe storage for these?
If you come to
things?
the garrison, I'll be there with I'll let the commander know. So if you want to come there, you can give back the horse. If you wish to hold on to the heads, you're welcome to do that, or we can hold on to them for you.
I think we don't let everyone know.
By all rights, it's just your proof of the of the kill, and you have our word on that was what happened since we have seen we saw the bodies on the way down.
In the scenario where we don't make it on time or for whatever reason you're not there when we arrive, what's your commander's name? That way we can speak to him if for whatever reason you're not there.
Frost.
Rost?
Trost.
Frost.
Oh.
Back on time.
He's the garrison commander.
Okay. Well, we're not gonna seek him out unless for some reason you're not there and not around. So we'll
unless
we'll
if
definitely meet up
come
with you
speak
first.
come speak to me if Trost will probably want to speak to you anyway. I know that he was preparing a group to head out to fight. They were going to join up with the Acroans, but so he'll probably want to speak to you as well. He may. I'm guessing he'll try to enlist you. It's kind of what he does.
Not happening.
I do not blame you. There's probably more money to be earned doing this than doing this. And he points at himself.
You're a
I
noble.
really like freelance. I like freelance. The freedom is nice.
Well, we appreciate
It's
the
nice,
horse.
but
We
no
definitely
loyalty
appreciate the
brings
horse,
its
we
own
don't have to
problems.
care.
Yes, no worries. Anyway, we must head off. I
Yep.
will see you possibly tonight if providing all goes well. So travel well, travel safe, and we'll see you shortly.
You too, pumpkin.
Safe-
Kind of just looks at you guys once more, kind of just shakes his head, and then just starts riding off.
Take it in.
I suppose we're lighting up now that we can.
Yeah, so you can put a bunch of stuff on this horse.
Can we like strap the heads like either side of the horse?
like
Yeah.
together and then
Yeah, I
drape
imagine
them
you can
over
get
the
some.
horse.
You've got some rope and stuff. You can,
Yeah.
tie two heads together and lay it over the horse's saddle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Type thing. The horse doesn't seem super thrilled about it. I will.
Does
I won't
anyone
lie.
need is
A
anyone
little fear factor
tired?
to it.
Does anyone want to ride the horse, or are we just gonna drag the horse?
No, I think we just move as a group and
Lead
just have
the
a
horse. Yeah,
A bit more
Lead
like
the
a
horse,
pack
yeah.
mule kind of situation.
I'm down.
So we just, I guess we travel through the rest of the day and into the night, early night towards Miletus.
I'm happy to go through to get
So
to Miletus tonight.
You travel,
I wanna
travel
be you.
through. After about after maybe 3 hours of travel, I'd say, or maybe about 4 hours of travel. The sun's still up in the sky. It's it's about noon when the guys rocked up, so 4 or 5 hours of travel. You notice a group of soldiers coming towards you, and these they just kind of go past. They wave,
Mm-hmm.
but not much more. And you hear some cheers as they go past. And then after about another hour of travel, you see a caravan.
As
start
they
to head out.
pass, I start playing a tune of as they go by.
Victory.
You all have inspiration.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so the rest of the trip travels on. Sun starts to dip, and at this point you're probably only a couple hours out of Miletus.
Yeah.
By foot.
Yep, I think we keep going. I'm happy to lead the
Are
group
we
out.
risking exhaustion, or I'd probably still.
Not really, not at this point.
Yeah.
Well, and especially if we told the guy that he should wait.
You're still
for us
able to
while
take
we're
breaks
going
and
out.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like you haven't been running for 8 hours. You haven't been moving for 8 hours straight. You've been
And
pretty.
we haven't been carrying
pretty
anything
cruisy.
heavy, so.
Yeah, for the last 4 hours.
So you can make it on without any exhaustion. Kind of eventually come up over a rise and come up kind of over the last hill that looks down over the port city that is Miletus. You see kind of quite well lit on at the start of the night at this point. The walls surrounding it with you can even see like the torches of the guards that as they walk as you begin to come down the hill and head towards the city.
Cool.
As it's happening, I go. I guess we'll see how this ends, and continue in.
Is there do we notice anyone? There's no one following us, or we haven't seen anyone that looks suspicious at all.
So the Gideon's been keeping a watch out this entire time and been leading and scouting around. Gideon's not seen anything. Alata's said that everything's been all clear this entire time.
All right.
I'm gonna turn to Vyas and just ask Vyas, do you mind if we just speak to this garrison before and kind of resolve the chimera issue before we go ahead and speak to Kahir?
Yes, if that is what you seek, I imagine. I don't know whether or not will we be able to speak to Kahir tonight?
I mean, we can go and have a look. We can ask her.
I guess we could try, but I don't know.
She may not be at her
Yeah.
shop per se.
Study.
We may
How-
have to
She's a true oracle, and we intend to see her tonight.
She'll know we're coming.
That's true.
Yeah. She spoke of that before.
How
She
long
expected us.
have we been gone for? Is it about a week?
Close to a week.
Close to a week? Okay.
Damn.
About 2.5 days up, and you've taken about 3.5 days back.
Yeah.
No.
So if IS is okay with us, I guess we'll head straight to the garrison to speak to
Legs are on
Trost.
fire.
Lyndall,
we passing-
following you.
Are we passing by the well that we had our first fight at?
Pulls a bliff.
Where
That was the
I
opposite
asked-
side of the
No,
city,
that was
wasn't it?
south.
No.
That was
Yeah, that
south.
was the opposite
Okay.
side of the city.
I didn't know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
sorry, no, that was just south of the city, so we're
'Cause
more
that-
north of the city at this point.
Well, right.
That could have been a bit awkward.
Yep. Especially if
For
his
my
body
ass.
was still there.
Mm.
Imagine it would have been cleaned up by now.
Yeah, after like a week, the body's probably been picked up by some guards at least.
This
There
was
are
up
people.
there?
A later kind of chimes in. Is like typically the bodies of returned are burned very shortly after.
Mm.
Guards tend to pile them in and dispose and burn the bodies with burial rites. Still, they are the bodies of the dead.
Okay.
So I would have known
Should-
specifically what garrison he was talking about and where we were going,
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of within Miletus. There's kind of the main garrison building, which is on the northern side of the city, in kind of the inner, just in the inner section, but still relatively close to the wall, so that if you were mustering, you could get people onto the wall quickly. Kind of
Yeah,
a
makes sense.
strategically placed keep. It's more of a keep than it is like a building.
Mm.
Inside it's one of the inner defensive locations of the city.
Following you, Lyndall.
So you guys
Okay.
come up to the gate, and there's two guards kind of standing out front of the gate, and they look at you and go, we heard you'd be coming. We almost didn't believe it. Head on through. They throw to he'll still be expecting you over at the keep. I know that I'm pretty sure Trost will want to see you soon.
Okay.
And you head
Go
on
ahead, okay.
through.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's not a long walk through. That doesn't take you long to get there, and you kind of rock up. And there's two guards, another two guards out the front of the door here. At the front of this kind of keep inside of the city. And they again see you approaching, and one of them turns to the other and says, "Go and get Trost. They'll looks like they've arrived." He kind of gets a smile on his face. You get the idea, like as people have seen you and as people have passed you, they're like people are pretty, like seem pretty excited that this has happened. It'd
I
be
was kind of joking before, but I think we might need to come up with a name for ourselves, as we're already making one for ourselves.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, oh, like are we known as the Six Heads, or?
Not bad,
There's only
mate.
5 of you though.
Azov has enough for 2 of them. His ego is big enough for 2.
He's Gideon.
Yeah, I was gonna say baby Fluffy has a head, so
The guard at the door says, wait right here. We'll have to make sure that Trust wants you to. He'll probably want to see you in, and we'll get Throtus to and he just turns his head back and just calls out, "Oi, stable boy!" You see this young fella, maybe 14 years old, kind of run out. "Yes, sir. how can I help? He's like, take the horse. And he runs over to the horse, and the heads are still there. And he just looks at it, and he's like, with the heads, sir?
Yeah, I'll look after him, mate. It's okay. I'll come and grab.
They're
I
dead,
come and
son.
grab 2 of the ropes with the 4 heads on it.
Yeah.
And I'm holding them. Oh yeah, Azoth, come and grab this other one.
Oh, jeez.
Come on.
You won't. And
You're
the
so
lady goes
strong.
over and pulls one off instead.
Yeah, perfect.
After you've rolled your eyes. Thank you, sir. That's okay.
You're welcome, mate. And
Takes the
I
horse-
flick him.
takes the horse off.
I flick him a gold piece.
Oh,
He-
damn.
He like
I
almost
tip-
fumbles it. As
Tip
he's
him a
going for the
gold
reins,
piece. Yeah.
and he's like, and he grabs it and looks over at the guard, and the guard just like looks at him and he's like, and then he takes the horse and goes.
I give the horse a scratch on his mane as he goes. Good boy.
Yeah. How did that go down?
I'm not doing it.
I appreciate.
Watch it as many times as you want now.
I appreciate the effort, man.
Oh, same. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was very good.
How do you get consent from a horse when all they say is nay?
Speak with animals is a spell, buddy.
Oh, I really got that. Anyway.
Oh man.
Oh. So I didn't
Yeah,
any more
so
dead heads, I
you
just want the
wait
horse
there
back.
for a little bit before you hear this booming voice. Ah, yes, wonderful, and just the doors just burst open, and before you see this short, maybe he's probably 5'8" Minotaur that is stocky and like he's wearing armor. Doesn't really fit him anymore. It looks like he's bulged out a little bit, and he's there, and he's got a glaive in his holding this glaive that he's almost using to help himself along, and he bursts through the door, bursts the door open. Ah, these are the men. Wonderful. Here, come. I'll show you in. And he gestures, and he just turns around and starts walking.
I guess we need to go.
Yeah.
Do I fit through the door? Like, do I have to duck or?
Yeah. These are
Yeah.
like
Okay. Good.
big
Yeah.
doors.
Wasn't sure
You
with.
get through, no worries.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So, yeah. Are you all following?
Yeah.
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 He kind of turns back as you go. So, fantastic job, you lot. That's quite the pardon me. Quite the work that you've done. So, anyway, I believe they've already taken your horse. So, come with me. We'll come to my office and we'll discuss some possibly the terms of some of what happens from here. And he kind of wanders through, and he's like, so, how did you manage it? We had a caravan almost of 20, 30 hoplites almost taken out by one of the beasts.
Oh, I mean, it was elementary.
Look at me.
Look at me.
I don't want to say that we took on the second one for fun, but
We kind of did. Lyndall copped it in the bum for a little bit, but we got him back for a little bit. He copped a shock blast, but yeah, for the most part, it was pretty.
I think the gods.
We just did what we do. Yeah, that is true. That's fair.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, the roles were in our favour.
The gods favor some more than others, apparently. And at this point, he reaches kind of this large door, and he opens it up and walks through, and you see inside what is this, this nice stone keep is a room that is wooden. This room is wooden floored. It's all very, very nicely decorated, and there's a desk in front that is this lovely ornate wooden desk, and behind it sits this large chair. On the side is a rack of various different glaives, and you see that one of them's missing. And looking at the glaives that are there, they kind of go from ornate to what looks like more functional. The one that he's holding looks quite decorative, whereas the ones on kind of closest to you on the rack, as you go in, look like they've seen more, possibly seen more action and look more of a functional use. As you go in, and then on the other side, you see a couple of heads of some creatures. Notably, one of them is the head of the head of a dragon.
Any specific type?
It's a black dragon, and the head is noticeably bigger than the chimera heads.
Would we know what a black dragon does?
One of you knows what a black dragon does, and a black dragon is acid. You know that they sit along the.
I would know.
Yeah. So, you would know that dragons typically come in two types. They're chromatic and metallic. Metallic dragons tend to be more friendly, is probably the wrong word, but not as aggressive. Whereas the a little more passive, more willing to talk to you maybe before they burn you alive or kill you. The chromatic ones tend to be a little more cunning,
right,
and a little more self-serving.
Yeah.
Quite the collection you've got here.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm impressed by this one, and I point at the black dragon.
He's like, yes, that. Unfortunately, I lost quite a few men on that fight, but it needed to be done. The creature had started terrorizing the docks, and well, I was the one that fired the final bolt, so it was my prize to take.
What about these guys? The Chimera. How many men have you lost to these guys so far?
Well, the first convoy that found them, we lost 8 good men, and a couple more that won't recover anytime soon, and may never be back to fighting force. I think about 11 in total are out of the force, and then they burned down the homestead out north and took with it the crops, and unfortunately the farmer and his wife didn't make it either. So I think we've lost about 13 souls to the chimeras, and about a week's worth of trade, unfortunately, which, as much as the souls are what I care about, unfortunately, that was the bigger part from the 12.
Of course.
But I
Nice.
thank you greatly for avenging my men. This is, and if I may say, to do so without losing any more is a boon and some. I thank you for that.
Well, as valiant as it may seem, the Chimera definitely approached us, and we dealt with it as we needed to. Sorry for your loss. If there's any additional stuff like this down the road, could we stay in touch with you if the price is right and we are capable of fighting this stuff? Would that be something that we could talk to you about?
Yes, we hire mercenary groups occasionally to deal with things. Sometimes it's just not feasible to send out an armed entourage. Sometimes it needs to be a little more subtle. For instance, we had a rogue hydra near the border to Cetessa a couple of years back, and we couldn't really send a group of armed soldiers over to Setessa. It's not always great, especially going through the warbands of the Ferris warbands is not always the kindest area. So we hired a group to help deal with that. I believe one of the World Walkers ended up taking it down, which was helpful.
Well, I can't speak for all of us.
But you will.
At Fluffy. I can't speak for all of us, but most of us are pretty subtle in our work.
Oi.
What? No,
He looks over. He's like,
I thought I saw the dragon head.
Subtlety would not be your strong suit. Neither.
No,
is it
but I
mine.
hit hard.
Bruises his belly. Neither is it mine.
I like it.
But yes. Anyway, I came to speak to you about. I went and spoke with the 12. Once Throtus told me of this, and they're happy to receive you tomorrow. To speak. To give you one for thanks. Two, there is some coin. There was going to be a large bounty put on it, and to be paid to the garrison in order to take out this creature, or these creatures. But that I believe they're looking at giving a sum of that to you for what you've done. So yes,
Excellent.
I believe that was noon tomorrow. They were happy to see you. So if you come to the council, come about 20 minutes early would probably be best, and we can go from there. You do not need to bring the heads. And he kind of looks at the two of you carrying the heads. I will vouch for that after seeing them myself. That's what I was here for. Speaking of which, could you please put them on the table? I do need to inspect them and make sure that everything's in order.
In order?
Once or twice we've had some people attempt to fraud bounties. I believe someone brought in the head of a goat in an attempt to bring in a bounty similar to this that they had altered with some
I
magic.
slowly cup my hands over Amos's ears and just like say,
Can I insight check him?
Yeah.
Just to make sure that he's being
So
fully.
you want to know if he's being?
I just want to be, mate. I want to make sure that like I'm not leaving them here, and he's just going to go and take the money in the middle of the night, sort of thing.
Yeah. But
Oh man. 8 total of 8.
hard to get a read on him.
Yeah.
He kind of leans he stands up and kind of walks past you, opens up the door and just kind of bellows out, someone fetch Kalios. Sorry, Califos. And he walks back in and he's like, okay, so I've sent to get my our scribe, who also knows some magic, which is always helpful. He's just going to make sure that there's no enchantments put over these that would change their appearance to make sure that everything is right.
Understand.
you can do as you please.
So after about a minute, this gentleman walks through the door, and you see a Triton with a fin running, from kind of the top of his head down his back. He's got like a pale blue skin. He's relatively thin frame, and probably stands at almost 6 feet tall, quite tall. And he walks in wearing kind of just a general cloak. It's it is evening by now. He's outside. He's not in any official attire. Kind of walks in and he's yes, Trost. What do you need? Trost is just like, yes, come here. If you could just lay the heads on the floor, I think that'll be fine for you, will it, Califos? And he kind of just looks around. Yes, the floor will be fine. Just lay them there for me. We'll get on with this.
Looking around, is Throtus anywhere near us?
No.
Okay.
You haven't seen Throtus yet.
Okay.
Are you putting him down or?
Oh yeah, I guess we'll. Do I put them down, guys? Do I put them down? Yeah. Okay. I put the heads. I put the 4 heads that I've got down.
The skin of dragon scales on you, and just put down the 6 heads, I guess.
Yeah.
So you put down the heads, and you all kind of, and Toy says, "All right, just step back just a little. Not much. This will be fine." And he's just gonna, and he just says some arcane, or holds up his book, and he says some arcane words and holds his hand out, and none of you really notice anything. He's just like, yes, I mean, if there was an enchantment, it would have been, that would have got rid of it. So I think we're all good. Trust. This seems to be all legit, as Throtus said. I mean, this was more of a formality, I believe, anyway. Trusted him. Yes, thank you. Anyway, good night. Thank you very much, Caliphos. I'll take it from here. Very good. That was, sorry, just, gotta tick all the boxes. There are, unfortunately, too many checklists nowadays. But you're good to grab those, and you can take them with you. I just need to confirm that before I go to the 12 and say that you've done it for sure.
Understand.
Taking the heads with us. I thought we didn't need to.
Well, if you don't want them, you can leave them with me, and I'll do with them as I see fit. But otherwise, they are your property. You were the ones to slay the beast. If you wish to mount them, and he points up at his things, or if you, whatever you wish to do with them, it is yours.
So we can take them in an attempt to sell them, but we still have the meeting with the 12 to possibly receive a reward for the slaying of these
Okay.
Lyndall, is this something we can put at your house? Because I don't have a house here.
No, I don't think it would be a good idea to leave them or go to my house. In fact, I don't necessarily want to go to my house either. So wherever you guys will be staying tonight, I'll probably stay with you guys. Stay wherever you're
Insight
at.
check.
We stay together. Okay.
What do you don't say insight check. What do you want to know?
What he's trying to hide? Why is he
What's
sound
he
like
feeling?
he doesn't want to go?
Is he scared,
Alright.
angry?
Something?
So, like, you know,
I mean, you don't need an insight. Yeah, you just ask me.
roll. Let me roll.
Because you don't ask for the check. Be like, do I believe him, or something like that, and then I'll tell you what you need to do. Because in this kind of case, it's So if you don't want to ask, you can roll insight, and then if there's a roll you're looking to make,
I guess we're close enough now. I mean,
Yeah, is there something you're worried about?
you don't want to go home. You sound very hesitant.
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously grew up in the city, and you know, it's kind of like hometown syndrome, right? You know, you've grown up here, your family's here. Not everybody's, you know, tight with their family, and not everybody's following the rules of the family, and not everybody's following in the footsteps that they're supposed to be following, or you know,
Brindle,
I don't know if
are you the bad boy of your family?
not necessarily. It's just
Black sheep.
I don't know. I don't believe the same way that my family believes.
Okay.
So
It's not just a phase, Mom.
They don't
I am a
Zach
bard.
much.
Yeah.
Did a real job.
So I mean, it's just an uncomfortable. You know, it's nothing more than that. It's nothing. I'm not afraid for us or for, you know, or myself or the harm of my family by bringing the heads there. It just would stir up drama that I don't want to deal with.
How old is Lyndall? I haven't got it
20.
in my notes.
29.
29. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
What about
in
you,
that case-
Azoth?
Yeah. Alright, okay.
Doesn't Azoth have a house here?
No.
No? There's no one from here?
So no, I'm kind of like a bit of a wanderer at the moment.
Okay.
So we.
Yeah. I mean, I can see if someone knows me, and
Well,
see if we
I
can find a
wanna
house.
drink.
Yeah, I'm down for a
So-
drink too. Let's go get a drink.
We could rent rooms at the Harpy's Nest.
That's
I
true.
would love
And
to
we
go
could
to the Harpy's Nest Inn. There's someone I would like to see.
and I am feeling like
I really, God, I hope roommate is available.
You're keen on that bar chick.
and I know the patronage there has been missing the tunes of the butt, so we got to get over there.
I'm down to give that. I'd be down to see that Minotaur again and see if I could, see if he wants to go seconds in a arm wrestle. Maybe we can make some more gold tonight.
Easy. So you guys are heading over to the Harpy's Nest?
Yeah.
Harpy's Nest Inn.
Easy. You find your way there, easy enough. You get a lot of glances from people, a lot of pointed fingers as you walk through, holding the heads. And a lot of people some people point at that, some people point at
Mossy.
the some people do see the strange figure kind of lurking behind you, that moves with you. That, as Vyas does seem different to everyone else. They do notice that.
Bias, would you be more comfortable if you weren't out in public?
I
Does
keep
it make
forgetting
you
bias.
uncomfortable?
Yeah, so do
I would look. It should be.
So do I.
With you around, I feel okay, but I would not like to do this during broad daylight, probably. But right now we are fine.
Plus he's gonna
If
do
we
well.
go to once we get to the Harpy's Nest, did you say?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Harpy's
I
Nest
will. I'll probably just head up to. If you can get a room, I'll
Done.
probably
Do
head up
you
there
want?
and just
Do you
stay.
want your own room or?
I don't think we should.
Yeah, that's a good call. Actually,
Well,
do you
I
want?
think it's best I stay with someone.
Agreed.
Aleda, would you want to take
Yes,
him on?
I will watch over him. That is my due. That is my job right now. So
Cool.
if you're
Eating up the
willing
wall.
with that, I will. He can have the room that I'll stay in,
Champion.
No,
We're all
thank-
talking about
and
drinking
I can
and
leave
playing the
Gideon. I
jackpot.
can leave Gideon
celebrating,
upstairs
so-
to watch the room just in case as well.
Yeah, good call.
So you kind of you trudge along, weird looks aside. You open the door, and in front of you you see Hixus, the older gentleman, the older barkeep. And as the night, it's kind of getting a little later, so there are still people around, having drinks. There's no music being played. But you notice that most people's attention, even as you open the door, is fixated on a gentleman standing by the fire who is telling stories. And he seems to have most people's attention as he tells of these tales. And you kind of come in midway into a tale which you've heard before, Lyndall, having some knowledge of telling tales yourself. And he is talking about Elspeth the Great, the
Recognize
Sun
this person,
Crown.
then?
Pardon?
Do I recognize him? Do I know this person? I assume
You
I
don't
have.
you don't recognize the person speaking, no.
Okay.
He is a satyr. Looks relatively young, probably early, kind of mid early 20s. And he has a small harp kind of rested next to him, but he's not really. And he's kind of occasionally plucking at the strings to build the mood as he tells the story of Elspeth. You go in. There's a couple tables free that you can find.
We'll
And
probably
Hicks
go
just
in
kind
and
of-
get some rooms
Hicks looks
first.
there and sees you and kind of raises his hand as he sees you walk in, Lyndall.
Yeah, I'll walk up to the bar and greet Hixus. Hixus, my man, how's it been? Things holding together since we've been gone, or
Yes,
how are things going?
Things been they've been traveling along relatively well. It's been quiet without you. We got in a new fellow for a couple of the nights. He's been good. Less music, more stories, but he keeps everyone going. So they stay, they drink. I'm happy.
So you're talking a replacement then, huh?
At the
I'm
moment,
just messing-
you
I'm
know
just
how it is.
messing
If you're
with
gone,
you.
I need someone.
It's all good.
But you're back for now. I do not need your services tonight. But would you like? Are you staying here tonight? Are you staying back at yours, or what's the go?
I'm gonna get a room here tonight, and I think actually, and I gesture to the group. The rest of us are looking for a room as well. Would you have vacancy? Would you have some room?
I don't have that many rooms. We're pretty full up at the moment. People have been waiting to leave. They've kind of come from the south and they haven't been able to leave, so we're pretty chockers. I've only got, and he looks down at like a notepad. I think I've got 3
rooms. I'm happy to
do.
share with Amos.
Bunk buddies,
Yes,
Lindor?
this is fine.
That works for me.
And then we
Works
can
for you.
later, and Ias can have the other one.
I mean,
Sounds good.
I'll let you know, Lindor. I have eggs
Well,
in a basket, but I'll.
Well, there'll be a room either way. So hit me up.
So okay. Well, rooms. I believe, and he kind of looks down again. 7, 9, and 10.
8 isn't available.
No, 8's taken.
Fair enough.
But 7, 9, and 10. There was
We'll snag up 7. Wink, wink at Azoth.
Leave.
So you're close,
and,
man. You're close. Either
Yes,
way.
You have
What do you
something in your
mean?
eyes.
Yeah. I guess in a weird way, trying to wingman you did. Okay.
Cool. So
Inspire me.
We listening through the wall.
Good motion.
Stories to tell, dude.
And while
so
we're
it'll,
kind of
it'll,
getting
it'll,
rooms,
so for each of you, it'll set you back about a gold piece for food and for the night.
I've got us covered, Amos.
Okay.
a gold
So
each for
it-
food in a room,
so-
or
So it'll be five silver for the room, and then 5 silver each for the food, and that'll cover you for
Right.
a meal tonight and a meal in the morning.
I'll cover the room. Lindor,
I'll get the other half.
the
Cool.
other half.
The food
I
that-
like. I'll
Yeah, the food, or I mean, whatever. Yeah, you said you
your own
got
food. You know,
silver.
we'll go Dutch on the food. I'll get the room.
Higgs says, "I'm
Okay.
pretty sure I've still got some
Fine with me.
some of the stew doing. If you guys want to take a seat, we'll get some bowls out for you guys. I think I've got some bacon I can throw on as well."
That'd be awesome. I'm gonna go take the 2. I'm carrying those 4 heads
Yeah,
still. I'm gonna
he's-
go take
and,
the 4 heads up to the room.
Okay. He's like, "That's I see you have dealt with the problem. We heard that a group there had been a group that had done it. I didn't know it had been you. So you know what? We'll call the first round on me. What are we having?"
Done. The biggest jug of beer that you can find for me, please. And I just walk off.
The usual for me, the whiskey, please.
Yeah, reaches
scotch,
down and grabs
sorry.
grabs the bottle of scotch that you usually drink and pours it out and puts it in front of you. What are the rest of you getting?
Just a mead, my good sir.
A mead for me as well, please.
Gets a jug of mead out, and then you see him reach over and grab a strange looking object,
Cheers, Amos.
which looks like it's the shape of an egg. Then you see him go over to a keg, and he starts filling it up. And this thing is like big.
Just for Fluffy.
And he,
I'm
and he
assuming
puts
so.
puts it on the counter, and you see at the bottom it's got these kind of legs that are attached to it. And he says, "And that's the biggest thing I've got. That's that's what we call the a good rest."
I come back down the stairs from putting the heads in the room and just like, this is for me. And I grab it.
You see this big egg,
Yeah.
just like with the top cut off, full of like mead.
And I grab it and I just start downing it as fast as I can, as much as I can.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw, just as a can you just down this whole thing?
That would be Constitution 16.
There's a couple of little moments of like, but you just kind of go and you just take the whole thing,
Yeah.
and you just down. He's just like,
Another.
only one was on the house.
Another. I'll have just a standard like mug this time, but that was awesome.
No worries. Kind of grabs it, puts it down to the side, reaches over, grabs a mug, and pours you some, puts it over.
What's that?
Says, have a seat. Have a seat. You lot. I'll grab you some grub.
Looking around the inn, do I see familiar face working the tables behind the bar?
No.
Oh no!
That's just me.
Later into the evening, there's only one worker on at the moment. So
It's
roll
alright.
for it.
It's alright, mate. I'm sure she's probably on in the morning.
You rolled for it?
Yeah, I rolled a dice.
Can I
It was like
sneak- can I
50-50 as to
sneak
who was
away?
working.
Can I sneak away and knock on roommate? No, I don't know.
Please do it.
Things are about to get spicy.
Yeah. Rolling some Constitution saves for a different reason.
You know what? I'll do it. Just because room 8 was not available.
I've just got to remember that, like, what did I didn't. Yeah, I think I remember what I said. So yeah, you can. Come on, camera. You can go over to roommate and knock on the door for sure. You gonna do that?
Yeah, I knocked.
You hear a voice call out, and it's an older voice of a gentleman. Says, "I didn't order anything." Walks over, opens the door. You see this short, kind of skinny old man just there, and he's like, "Hello, can I help?"
Oh, yes. Sorry for the late interruption. My name is Azoth. I was just wondering if you'd heard recent news of a group slaying some chimera.
Yes, I believe I heard something of the kind. Why?
I just wanted to let you know I'm going around every room that I'm in that group.
Like I said, 6 heads.
Good on you. Well done.
Okay, good night.
I love it. I love it so much.
Enjoy your stay. This is my
Closes the
favorite
door.
inn.
You just hear the door slam, and you just hear
So
like
good.
muttering under his breath. As
Oh,
as
man.
you walk
That's
away.
amazing.
I return back to the table. Drink my mead.
If I look around the room, can I see the minotaur that arm wrestled with me? Is he in the nest?
Doesn't seem to be around.
Okay.
Say,
Okay.
if your date's here but not mine, I'll be very mad.
We'll kind of sit down and the satyr giving his talk is, playing on his lute and kind of builds up the tune as he speaks of the of how Elspeth felled the false god, and how she was then betrayed, and how she became the Sun's Fallen, and he continues on the story, speaking of how she escaped, and then kind of twist the story off to speak of other world walkers that you've heard stories of these great heroes over the years of your life. They're probably up there with the champions of the gods, the most spoken about. You've heard of Renata, the god of the hunt, and he starts to speak of that with the talk of chimeras. He brings up the story of Renata and how what's the god's name? Jeepers, there's so many of them. Yeah. Keranos, there we go. And how Keranos built and created the chimeras as a challenge to Renata. And each time he created a combination more dangerous, thinking Renata wouldn't be able to slay it, and each time Renata felled the creature. And he speaks of her great exploits of heroics before she disappeared, or kind of the stories stopped some 20 years ago. And then he speaks of Ajani, this great Leonin world walker who he speaks of the most recent exploits of Ajani, of only 2 years ago having slain this Hydra on his own after, and it was noted that he was wearing the cloak of Elspeth while he did it. This great, and he speaks of various other accounts of history and these great battles that have been fought, and it's a wonder. He spins a wonderful tale and weaves in the music beautifully as it all happens. Just want to have a little.
I liked it. That was good.
We're sitting down on our table eating. Has the food? We got our
Yeah,
food
so
already?
the food's during those stories. Hixus has brought out some food, and it's nothing crazy. Kind of later in the evening, it's this nice hearty stew, and then on the side of it, he's just got like some bits of bread that he's kind of toasted through with some nice crispy bacon on the side as well.
Ixus, you're a genius.
Well, look,
Nice.
I can't cook much, but what I can cook, I cook well.
I like it.
Another round?
Yes, please. Is there? So I'd like to use my Echoes of Victory. Are we within 100 miles of my hometown?
Yep.
So I'd like just a little bit of information on the 12. Is there anyone around that admires me? Is a fellow athlete or a trainer in the region that can give me the information? It's a 50%. It's a 50% chance.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that they're there, or that they'll give you the information?
There is a 50% chance that I can find someone who admires me and is willing to provide information or temporary shelter.
I'm going to give you a slightly lower chance just because it's it's relatively late in the evening
Sure.
at a very specific joint. Like, you're not like going throughout a town looking for that kind of information. If that makes sense. But I'll roll for it. Yeah, sure. You looking around the tavern, you see what you think might be another athlete, or some form of person, and they seem to occasionally glance over at you, especially after seeing you walk in with the heads. Kind of looks over towards you, and then kind of keeps on going with what he's doing. This probably 6 foot tall human that
Okay.
looks relatively well built.
They look familiar.
You don't recognize them, no.
Okay. I walk over and try to talk to him.
Sure. You approach.
G'day, mate. How you doing? You're a strapping young lad.
Why? Thank you. You're is it? V?
Yes.
The hero of Iroas?
Yeah. Well, you mate.
You won the games. You won the toss over at Satessa recently, didn't you?
Yes, I did. You know your stuff well. I didn't verse you over there. You weren't in there.
I wasn't in the toss.
No, yeah.
I participate in a different game. I split.
Nice.
But I did see the event. I also watched the tournament. I mean, who wouldn't want to watch that? And saw you win that fight, and that was a great bout indeed.
Yeah, that was a good. That bloke, he knew how to fight for sure. Absolutely. Yep, he was.
Not as well as you, it would seem.
Well, no, I mean, no, there's got to be a winner and there's got to be a loser, and yep, in that one, I was just too strong.
Praise Iroas on that.
Absolutely. We are meeting with the 12 tomorrow.
Yes.
Are you a local?
I mean, ish. I come from a village down south. I'm up here at the moment, getting ready to head up to Acroas for the games that are happening up there soon. So
Oh well, I'm gonna do my best to get up there. I'd love to be able to try and defend my title. Just wondering, like, is there anything that I need to be aware of with the 12? If you have any information for us, I've just.
What are you looking for? I mean, they're the council that rules over Miletus. It's about as simple as that. You have kings. You have the king and queen of Acroas, and then but here we have the 12, and they're kind of the governing group. And
12 seems like a large number, though.
I mean, yes, but it allows for different perspectives, and it's worked quite well as a way to rule, and has kept things relatively just and civil within the pulse.
Is there anyone who has a greater sway in the 12 over the rest of the 11, or if is there a group that we need to appeal to?
There is. I mean, I haven't kept track on who leads the group, but there is usually someone that runs the council, and they don't. They moderate. They moderate the debate among the 12, but they are not. They do not. I believe they may hold weight on swing votes, but I think maybe not. Maybe a tie is just a tie, but I think they may hold weight on the swing vote, and they're typically the senior.
Any got a name?
No, I believe the most recent one died not that long ago, and I don't keep track of politics.
Oh, fair enough.
More interested in the combat.
Fair enough too. No, I appreciate the time, mate, and good luck with the Across games, and I'll hope to see you there.
Hope to see you there.
Thanks.
If not maybe at the I believe are you fighting in the tournament coming up?
Where's that one? We're bouncing.
A couple of days.
Oh, I mean, I'll have to see what.
I don't know if you are you in the Champions League or.
I mean, look at me. Sure, yeah, absolutely. Am I in Champions League?
No.
No, I didn't think so. No. How do I get?
So what you've fought in before is kind of like there's a tier system,
right?
So that the champions are typically, it's called that named after the champions of the gods.
Right.
The highest tier.
Okay.
Typically held for the best combatants that there are. You fought in like what would be like the second and third tier.
Okay.
The fight that you did recently was I think third tier.
Okay.
This is like the top.
I'm not quite a champion. I haven't been putting the time into to make sure that I'm registered, I guess, for the champion league. But But I might look into it. I know Lyndall, my friend Lyndall, he mentioned that he would be keen on me getting into something like that and watching something like that. So we'll see how we go.
I mean,
This
with
conversation
the
is
feats that
across
you've- Yeah,
the
it's
room.
across the table. He
Okay,
says with the feats of that, you may be able to get yourself a special recommendation, but we'll leave that to see how it plays.
That is a very good idea. Might have to speak to someone of the right, or speak to the right person about that, and I
Anyway,
give him a handshake and walk back to the guys.
Raise his glass as you head off. Cool.
I didn't find out
Yeah, I guess-
anything new.
Well, while that conversation was happening, I finished up, the food and got my second drink, and I want to make my way over to the satyr that's I assume has finished up that story and maybe rallying into the next one.
Yeah, so he finishes up.
yeah.
He finishes up one story, and he's kind of just gently playing at the moment.
And I put a gold piece in his, I assume his little hat or whatever he's got,
a
there.
little,
that
got a little
yeah,
thing out from him. Yeah.
yeah.
He looks at you and just kind of nods his head.
Yep. And then I want to gesture to my my sack butt, and have a mutual understanding that I want to play, as he's telling his story behind him, and in a complimentary way, not in a competitive way, because I want to.
He looks at you and he's like, the night is mine. You are aware.
Yeah, but this is my bar, dude.
He's like, if you wish to accompany me, you can, but I do not believe you'll be paid.
I do it for the love of the performance.
Love of the
Then, by all means, play away.
Wow.
This guy's a dickhead.
So,
Yeah, the dickhead.
This guy's a dickhead.
he all about the money.
All right. You want to roll a performance check?
Let's go. Come on, Lindo.
Unnatural 20.
Let's go.
As he's telling the story, and he didn't roll particularly well.
Plus 10 performances, by the way.
Plus 10!
30. 30.
What the hell?
My goodness.
As he tells this story, and you note like his story seems to lack the punch that it's had, but accompanied by your sackbut, it builds every moment to be epic, and every moment that is sorrowful or somber, you just build and create the moment, and everyone in the tavern is just in just awe of the performance that you two are both putting on. And it's this beautiful story that he's telling of God, names are hard. Of Anax, the champion of Perforos, and how he left behind being a king after the fall of his queen, and how he became one of the greatest warriors that Theros had ever seen, and how the waves of the dead would fall as he took the battlefield, and the dead that lay under his great axe were taken down without so much of a thought from him. It's a fantastic story of the victory of this champion. And that story kind of wraps up, and there's a massive applause from everyone, and then kind of a quietening down and people kind of take that as the note for the end of the overall performance. Sator looks at you and says, I felt myself almost skip there, but thank you for carrying me through that. masterful performance, if I do say so. I thank you for that.
You're most welcome, friend. Home crowd advantage, I guess. So.
I guess so. I'm still becoming accustomed to them, but hopefully we can play together again sometime. Kind of bows his head towards you and reaches down and gathers up his equipment. Starts to head towards the stairs that lead up to the accommodation.
And I'll head back to where everybody else is sitting, if they're still gathered up.
Yep.
I keep drinking. Amos, do you know one?
No, I think I'm about done.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw, Fluffy, with disadvantage at this point.
Disadvantage, gee. That would be a 12.
You're holding it together pretty well for the amount you've drank. Yep.
I'm a big guy.
You're feeling it, but like, yeah, you still got your wits about you.
I feel happy. I feel fine. I feel happy.
No, you're not at that point.
So
A later kind of as the stories have gone on has kind of been like, good night to you. I wish to go up and have my rest, and I may converse with Vyas.
Before you all go, were we planning on trying to see Kahir before we go to the 12? I don't know if taking Vyas to the 12. I don't.
What time were we meant to make the 12?
20 to 12.
Noon.
Yeah.
We probably do have time to go to Kahir beforehand. They said be there 20 minutes before noon.
Yeah, if we go first thing in the morning, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah, and depending on how long that takes, we could check in with the Merchants Guild as well, and see if we can leverage some money out of it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Chimera stuff as well.
That's true.
If Vyas is comfortable with it, we could possibly leave him with Kahir, and they could work on possibly deciphering the money.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it'll be very.
I don't know how long it'll take.
I think. Yeah, we just. I think we'll. I like the idea of going to the Merchants Guild, but I think we'll squirrel away the Via stuff first.
Yeah, and
they may have a job for us.
To be honest, myself personally, I don't want to leave Vyas there alone.
Agreed.
Any information that she shares with him, I don't want it to be in secret. I would like to know, unless she kicks us out.
I can always leave Gideon there.
It's fair. No, I think wherever Vyas is going, I want Vyas in the same space as us.
I mean, we always have tomorrow to check in with the Merchants Guild as well.
I can stay with Vyas.
The next day or after the meeting.
I can stay with Vyas while you see the 12.
I mean, you're just as in on the 12 as we are.
I am, but my bond is to Vyas.
Understand.
Is to killing a chimera, as much as it was a great feat, but.
Two chimera.
Yeah, don't cheapen it.
And as a matter of fact, if I can stay behind as well as you guys meet with the 12, I'd be happy to skip that as long as you guys feel comfortable representing yourselves without me. I don't know why you wouldn't, but
why is that?
Probably would be recognized. I don't know if they would take anything more or less about what we're presenting them. They are, I guess, relatively unbiased when it comes to stuff like that. When it comes to bounties, they're going to pay bounties according to what what the bounty was given, and regardless of my past relationship with the council. I don't know that it would sway that in any way, but I mean, there could be some extra dialogue that comes along with it if I'm there, I guess. And I'm not sure. Myself personally, I'm not sure what to expect by showing up. So.
Well, we'll find out in the morning.
So if we need additional people to stay behind with, I'll let you guys go ahead to the meeting with the 12, and I can stay behind as well.
So everyone heading to rest for now.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. As you guys head to bed for the night, we'll take a quick break. Just quick. Night happens pretty uneventful.
Good. Always
wake
good.
Up in the morning. And everyone's feeling nice and refreshed after a pretty decent day's travel and some an eventful evening. You wake up at about dawn. Everyone kind of moseys on downstairs, and you see Hera, the barmaid, sitting there running meals out.
Stops. Freeze.
Bobby, come here.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's terrible.
It's...
You had a late night feast of like this hearty stew and bacon. Like your breath is bad, man.
I don't have anything for him.
What's that spell? Pretty.
Prestidigitation.
You can order and taste these, so I'll allow it. Yeah. You can.
That's
Please,
incredible.
I'm begging you.
Prestidigitation, some water into like a minty flavor, and you drink it, and your breath is a little bit better.
Yeah, that's yeah. Go for it.
Altoids.
Go get a
Mouthful of Altoid.
What's her name? Hera? I don't think I got her name.
Hera.
Hera. She's mainly looks like she's running meals while Hixus is running the bar and taking orders.
She's what? Sorry.
She's mainly running meals. So there's a bunch of people down there, and and a lot of people like eating breakfast at this time. Hixus is working the bar, doing various drinks. Some people are drinking ale already. Some people are drinking juices and a couple of things that they have that are more for mornings. And he's taking orders for meals as well.
Play cool, Adolf. Play cool.
Yeah, got this, dude.
I'm going to sit down. I say it out loud. I'm going to sit down.
I go with Hexus and order 5 meals.
Easy. Easy. So you go up and you chat to you chat to Hixus and order the meals, and he's very much just kind of taking things as you go, and he's like, bacon and eggs, scrambled. What are we going for?
Just all scrambled eggs. Get them out.
Bit of onion.
Everything, everything you've got.
Easy.
Like
I can do.
Yeah.
And he, writes down on a piece of paper and puts it up through like this little nook that's behind him. That goes to the kitchen.
What do I?
That was covered in last night.
Ah,
so that's
easy.
All good.
Love this place.
Oh right.
Grab a seat. Any drinks?
Fellas, any drinks?
Anything with mint.
You got anything with mint?
I could put some mint in some juice.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we'll grab 1 minty juice and 4 regular juices.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
and he
done.
reaches over and cracks open a keg, and it's this like citrusy kind of juice that's like a pinky citrus.
I'll grab a mead on the side, please, as well. Just yeah. Thank you. Oh, knock it back.
That'll be 5 silver.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yep. Easy.
Easy.
Cool. I'll take the juices over.
Yeah.
And yeah, here, Azoth, minty juice, and then Amos, Lendl, Aladra.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sitting there drinking your juices.
Do you eat Vyas?
No, you've already had that.
Oh, we have.
Vyas
Yeah,
is
that's
your
true.
drink.
Yeah, it's good.
And
Yeah,
Vyas
it's true.
is still up in the room.
Oh, okay, right.
So
Never mind.
Aleda's kind of come down and it's like, Vyas is going to stay until we need to leave.
Cool.
To kind of avoid people.
How was the night?
Night was fine. I spoke briefly with him, and I think I helped him recall some of what we spoke about years ago.
Good.
So,
do tell.
He can. Well, I mean, it's nothing more than what I've already told you, but hopefully you can hear it from him.
Mm-hmm.
If that helps you, if you wish to speak with him at some time.
Sorry.
Azoth, could you please go to your room and do the same? Oh my goodness. I'm
done. I
Alright,
promise.
okay, go. Are you gonna go speak to her? What's the plan? Here, come on, just breathe in my face
still,
again.
Like, moving around, bringing plates out and stuff.
Breathe in my face again. Let's have a whiff. Yeah, it's still bad, but it's better than it was.
It's a mix of orange juice and mint.
Yeah, and death essentially. Like, yeah. So, Azel, what's the plan? Is she gonna come over here, or like, and you can talk to her then? Are you gonna go and meet her somewhere, or?
She's busy.
So after a few minutes of this, 5-10 minutes, as she keeps on taking out meals, she eventually brings out 2 massive platters of bacon and eggs, and on the side there's just like these little dishes of chili, and just brings them over, and it's not like little plates, they're just like 2 big old dishes with like forks put in it, and just puts them down on your table. I believe it was just a bit of everything for you lads, wasn't it?
Yep.
She kind of just smiles at all of you. Wonderful. And then she just keeps on going with the work.
Azoth, like I kick Azoth underneath the table, like just dude, like.
She kind of turns back at the thing. It's like, everything okay?
Azoth has a problem. He wanted to speak to you about something.
Azoth?
Good morning. I
Morning.
just wanted another juice if I could. Please.
You'll have to go and see Hixus for that. Sorry,
Of course.
just running meals.
I'm sorry.
It's like, enjoy the food, and just walks away.
You killed a chimera, and yet you can't speak.
Two.
You can't speak to this girl.
I'm assuming
What
the
is-
heads are up in your rooms. by
What
the
is
way.
the matter? Yeah, of course they are. Yeah. What is the matter with you? Tell her how you feel.
1 head is more intimidating than 3.
Clearly. Dig in, boys. And
It is this wonderful feast of
Lost an appetite.
probably a little bit overly salted, with like, but it's this, eggs, like scrambled eggs with bacon, a bit of cheese. You think maybe some herbs, maybe. Looks like you got creative. And there's just like this kind of chili sauce on the side, and you can mix in as you see fit.
yeah,
While we're
just
eating,
smash it
I'm
down.
dumping all the chili sauce on. I like the size too. But we're while I'm eating.
Roll me a saving throw.
Okay. What?
Constitution.
Oh no.
It is hot.
Let's go. Dirty.
Anyone's that's having the chili, roll me a Constitution save.
I probably would have too.
Dirty.
Let's be honest.
Dirty 10.
It is hot. Your eyes start watering, face is red, like it is. You're grabbing at that juice, and like there is not enough of it.
Natural one.
Fluffy can't handle the spice.
Fluffy like puts one,
Blaze me to die.
and he's just you see his eyes just bulge. And grabs his juice, grabs Amos's juice, and just downs them both immediately. Trying.
So sad.
I'm like, while we're eating this and our mouths are burning up, I'm like, guys, what are we gonna do with these heads? We can't like freaking carry them around all day in town. We don't need to take them to the 12. They're not gonna want to have them in the chambers there with them. What should we do with them?
Sorry, a later speaks up. Lyndall, you seem to know this area. Are there any traders? We could see if they wish to buy them. Collectors. We could see. There's always the less popular groups that sometimes deal in rare creatures.
Is there an underground market that I would know about?
You know of it.
Maybe not dealt with them.
Some other people have probably dealt with them.
Azoth. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, you.
Actually, I think
Maybe Amos.
Amos.
Amos is probably... Oh, no, Amos has dealt with them before and would know of this. Whether or not he says anything about it depends on...
Do you want me to roll a history check?
No, you know about it.
I know that.
There's no history here.
You know about it.
So there would be you know, several options that we could you know, look into when it comes to, you know, where we could sell these heads to, you know, outside of the bounty that we're due. It could be, you know, several different places, and we could check. I mean, if we're trying to hunt highest price, that kind of matters, or if we're just trying to get rid of them so we don't have to deal with it anymore, carrying them around. And I mean, I think everybody's going to give a fair offer for the most part, depending on how we present ourselves. But, you know, there may be some people that are willing to pay more depending on, you know, who we sell them to. And if we're willing to take that time to seek out the highest offer. So...
I'll go get the heads.
But the thing is, do we want to carry them around all day, or are we going to...
How far is his
yeah.
store in comparison to the Harpy's Nest? Not far?
Not far, like 10, 15 minutes maybe. Like,
Yeah, I think we just...
walk through the town.
If we
Walk through the city.
pay to stay another night in the inn, like
Lock 'em up in
rebook
there?
the room, we can leave shit in there, right? Like that's
Absolutely.
Not gonna...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Tell...
It's
You tell
and
them
like
not-
you
not
and
to
Lyndall both
disturb
know
anything.
that you can book like multiple days and you can just have that room. You've both done that before.
Hmm.
You know, and like it's not uncommon for you to be like, I need this room for like a week.
I think we do that.
We can just book for another night, go see Kahir, then head towards the 12, and then come back and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on how long the 12 take, we can book another night or not.
Yep. Sounds good to me. Yep.
That way we can do our due diligence to find the right buyer and maybe get them min-max it or something. So.
All right.
So
Well,
easy enough. You go up to Hixus and organize another room. If you be five silver apiece for the night for the extra day.
Mhm.
For each room. So each of you pay that accordingly, or one person is going up and doing it.
I'll pay for tonight.
You don't worry about food. If you, we'll sort that out tonight if you're going to be here or whatnot. But
Okay.
I'll keep those rooms. Do you need them cleaned, or do you just want them?
leave them as is. Leave them as is.
Can
Yeah, don't go in
No
there.
worries. I'll see you later. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed everything.
Always a pleasure.
No,
Pleasure, Hexus.
Thank you. I'm gonna give him a couple two silver pieces as a tip for hooking us up. So
You're always a welcome. You're always a welcome patron, Lyndall. Thank you. And he just pockets it.
Later, do you want to go get Vyas? And we'll head over to Kahir.
Yes, I can go get Vyas. She walks up the stairs. and then shortly later comes down with Vyas and the cat just walking alongside. Gideon just walking alongside her.
Cool.
Cool. Well, yeah, you
Alright.
can head out to Kahir.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Easy.
Take-
We head over to Kahir.
You know the way. Lyndall led you last time. You come around a corner and you see Kahir. What'd you say? Sorry.
I take one last longing look as we leave. At
Hera,
Hera.
let me. Lovely. Hera kind of looks over at you and just kind of nods and then keeps on going on her work.
And proceed.
As you wander through the streets, you know, a couple of looks as a couple people notice Vyas, but not too much. It's a busy morning. People are.
Has he still got the cloak on?
He's still got the cloak
Yeah,
on. He's still
cool, yeah,
relatively
yeah,
covered, but
yeah,
like he's not.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
If people pay close attention, they can.
Yeah,
See.
yeah.
But what you do notice is people are moving, and people are like a lot of people are moving a lot of stuff. There seems to be a lot of caravans getting ready,
Right.
and a lot of
Now that they can
a
actually
lot of
leave.
people starting very like earlier probably than usual. You kind of get the idea that since travel seems
Business
to be
is
opened up
back.
again, business is back. There's a lot of people looking to get stuff moving.
Is there anyone that's having like a? Is there anyone following us that we can see, or
Roll me a perception check.
this hasn't gone good today? 20, dirty 20.
You don't notice anyone following.
Okay,
you.
cool.
The walk over there is mostly uneventful. Aside from the bustling kind of people that mostly are fixated on what they're doing. Eventually, you kind of end up in the back streets that lead to Kahir's, place. And as you come around the corner and you see Kahir's place, you notice a guard standing out the front of it.
Oh, Jesus.
Like a Miletus guard, or
Leader's guard. Looks like a town guard, one of the town guards.
okay? Does he look familiar to us from last night?
Just looks like one of the guards. You've not met him before.
Right. Oh, yeah. Walk up to him.
Hello. What business do you have here?
We have business with Kahir.
Okay. She's not been seen for some time, and I think the place was left ajar just I think yesterday, and looks like it's been. Yeah, I shouldn't say too much on it actually, but yeah, she's not been seen for almost a week.
We saw her a week ago before we left to go to find Vyas.
You're
Did you
telling
know?
us the guard?
Yeah.
Fluffy.
Implicated.
Very interesting. How many days would you say?
8.
8 days? That's right about when she went missing.
Interesting.
We're now suspects.
Of course we are.
Can I inquire what your business with Kahir was?
Are you the lead investigator, or are you just
We had our
stationed
palms
here to
read.
guard?
She read our palms.
I am not the lead investigator, no, I'm just keeping an eye on what is still a crime scene.
She said I had a long romance line in my.
Near future.
I mean, he's not wrong. She did tell us of our future, and we did meet her regarding our fates.
Yeah,
And
characters
she
of
asked us,
destiny.
to return once we learned a little more about our fates. That's all our involvement with her was.
Interesting. She
Do you-
spoke nothing of leaving or anything to you?
Look at the rest of the guys. Not that I remember.
I mean, why
don't
would
think
we
so.
return here if we knew she wouldn't be here?
That is a fair point.
Logic.
Yeah.
Well, alas, she is not here, and
Did someone report her missing, or?
I don't know if I can tell you that.
Well, we
She
may
is
be able to help
missing.
find her if you give us a little bit more information. I mean, you may not have heard of us, but we did
Here we
kill
go.
2 chimeras, and we're pretty handy.
That was you, was it?
That was us.
I'd heard
So-
that someone had. Well,
They're calling us the 5 heads of Chimera.
Six.
roll
5 heads.
me a persuasion check with advantage.
Who, me or him?
Let's go.
You're speaking.
Okay. That would be persuasion. Did you say persuasion?
Yeah.
Persuasion. Or 16.
Says, well, with if that was indeed you, I guess maybe you are the people that can help. I cannot tell you much.
Is he?
without first going to see my?
Are you? Do we know if he's from the same garrison
Yeah.
of Trost?
The town, most of the town, you've seen the town guard, and they are similar. But you don't know specifically if they're part of the same group or not. If they're,
Right.
if they're under the same thing.
Right.
Whether or not the town guard garrison is part of the kind of the military garrison or not.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
I can probably say that Lyndall knows that Trost, or he doesn't know the names, but he knows that they are separate, but they are overseen by one commander. So you don't know if that is Trost or if
Right.
there is under commanders there.
Yeah.
But he's, okay, well, if that's the case, well, I believe someone went to speak to her and she wasn't here. On that, we checked her home and again, she wasn't there. So we've kind of had an eye out for her. And then just yesterday, someone noticed that her door was open, so I was sent to investigate to see if she'd returned. And I found the place had been ransacked.
Is there?
Would you mind if we took
yeah.
a look inside?
I cannot let you do that.
Oh, come on, mate. Just a squiz.
I don't expect you to tell us any names, but can you at least say the person who had business with her couldn't find her, and the person who said they saw the door ajar, was this the same person?
No, this the door ajar was reported by one of the garrison as they were doing their rounds, and this was with 5 days in between that someone called. Someone said that she wasn't there, she wasn't answering, wasn't responding, and then some days, and then 5 days later we found the place a mess.
Who was it that reported her? As in who was it that went to go see her? Do you know their name? Can you give us their name?
They did not give their name.
They shared their business.
No,
With
they
which
did
they
not. Many, though that was not too much of a surprise, the oracles of Phaenax are not always the oracles of the best people.
I turn around to Vyas. Vyas, any ideas on where she could have gone? Can you remember anything, or did she have any hiding places, or?
Vyas just kind of like, no, this makes no sense. She'd never leave. This is wrong. Something's no. And just kind of trails off. Like,
Okay.
Vyas, would it help you to see inside?
I mean, it may. I do not know.
Mate, what would it take for you to take a 5-minute break?
What are you suggesting?
Well, we would like to go inside, and I'm saying that you could maybe go for a quick wander, and we'll go inside.
I will not leave my post.
You don't have to leave. You can just let us in.
You just let us in.
While Fluffy's talking, I'm going to cast Charm Person.
Ooh.
That is not a subtle thing.
No, it's VNS, isn't it?
You have
Yes,
to touch him, I think.
verbal
Yeah, verbal.
and somatic. I don't
Yeah,
think it's
isn't
touch.
it-
I don't think it's touch, but
No, it's not. It's just verbal and somatic.
but like verbal means you have to speak and you have to say arcane words with like oomph.
Can I do
So-
it stealthily?
No.
I can't.
No,
Alright,
there
well,
is
stealthily,
a
sleight of
specific
hand?
meta magic that lets you do it stealthily, so you cannot do it stealthily.
Okay.
There is
I
there is
thought I'd be
specific
able to-
abilities for stealth magic.
I thought I'd be able to roll it.
You
do
can
it
you
stealthily.
can you can do it, and if you succeed, he won't know until it's ended.
Yeah, I
But
know.
the-
If you fail, he will know 100% that you cast a spell on him.
I thought you could do it stealthily. It was a spell that you could cast stealthily.
Are
No,
there?
so
there-
there's if
Sorry,
Yeah,
go
you go.
ahead. I'm
No, you
keep
go.
trying to interrupt. No. Go ahead.
so
What spells
with
can
magic,
you cast stealthily then?
I mean, so if it doesn't have a verbal component, you'll have to make hand gestures that will look like magic.
Right.
Um,
And those you can cast stealthily.
in the right setting, you could cast it maybe, and you could try to weave it in with.
Or
with
they
other
sleight
things.
of hand
But
check.
that's
That'd be maybe I'd let you do a sleight of hand depending on the situation. But most of the time, unless you have the specific ability to cast a spell stealthily, there's very specifically a meta magic option within the sorcerers and within a feat, which lets you do a subtle spell, which lets you cast a spell
Okay,
without
gotcha.
verbal or somatic components. So
Right, okay, I
if
see.
you are to cast a spell stealthily or without people noticing, you need that option. Or else, if I just let you do it, then there's no point ever having that option
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay, I understand.
as far as the game is concerned. Because like the idea of like whenever you cast a spell, you are saying arcane words, and you have to say them with like a willpower and with a force behind them in order to cast that spell.
Gotcha.
Are there windows on the building? On her office or her study?
No,
or-
there weren't.
I want to ask him. Is there a current investigation? Like, is there investigators
There's,
in the building right
there's-
now?
Not in the building at the moment, but there are investigators. It's too early for them. They'll be here a little bit later, probably just another hour or so.
Okay. I mean, I look at the group. I mean, I don't know what to do other than wait around and maybe talk to the investigators. I mean, I don't think.
I mean, once they get here, it's going to be a shit show.
We need to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, but I mean, we need to know what happened to her.
Yeah,
I mean, in
We
order
we need to know.
I mean, should we try to get permission from the 12?
I mean, it's possible. We do we just try and find out?
We could maybe leverage what we've done to garner.
We find out who his commander is.
Could.
Aleda
Okay,
can
I
speak-
suggest we let's move away from the door for now.
Okay.
But possibly just head in the direction of the 12. But
We're
while
like
we're
a few hours away from
Yeah, it's still pretty early. Maybe we
From
could head
main.
to the. For the time
Try to-
being, we could head in the
try to
direction
drive.
of the. Yeah, or the
Merchants Guild.
Merchants Guild.
Yeah. Okay. While we head there, a suggestion may be while I'm speaking to the group. I may be able to falsify some documentation to allow us to enter Kahir's shop.
That
Sis?
would be very handy.
What was that? Sorry.
So I have a feat false identity where I can create second identities that include documentation, established acquaintances, and disguises that allow me to assume that persona.
Don't you have to spend a fair bit of time to do that?
And it just says additionally I can forge documents,
you-
official
yeah.
papers, and personal letters.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Do you have a forgery kit?
I do have a forgery kit.
What are you trying to forge?
Well, if we find out because it says I need to have seen an example of the kind of document or handwriting I'm trying to copy.
Mhm.
So if we know who to speak to, or possibly his commander, we can go and talk to him. Even if he doesn't give us permission, we can, or I can at least try and have a look for the type of documentation that I need to then forge said document or letter as required.
I don't think that's a bad idea. We can talk to the commander and maybe
Look, if he gives us permission
convince him to go.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
To help, with
If
our
he doesn't,
notoriety, even
then
if it's
hopefully
a
I
little
can just
bit.
get a look at what I need,
Yep.
and I'll just take a decent look around wherever we're speaking, or try and possibly even sneak somewhere that is necessary.
Okay.
You could break in at night.
So what are we doing right now?
So I think first we head to the Thieves Guild, and then after we finish with the 12, we can. Or do we want to?
You're gonna head to the underground,
or do we want to head towards? No, sorry, not Thieves Guild, Merchants Guild. Sorry,
I was going to say, we don't know that you are part of the underground so far.
I meant Merchants Guild.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it in the back of my head. Should we head to a garrison before we go to the Merchants Guild? Because the Merchants Guild is always going to be there, and we can always try and sell the heads at any point. But if we leave Kahir's shop,
a later kind of speaks. He's like, we do seem to have friends within the garrison. Could levy that, possibly get Trost to let us do this, and then we could get to this sooner. This is something that is pressing.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I want to see this done soon, and if Kahir is missing, time is of the essence.
Yeah, agreed.
I think that's the best plan, and then we can go down these other avenues. They're great ideas, but we can go down these other avenues as we lose, the rest of those others as options. So
I think,
you can go talk to Trost. I mean, worst case scenario, he just tells us the next person we can talk to.
Agreed.
If he's not the guy.
Agreed.
So even if he gives us bits of information. So
heading back to see Trost.
Yeah, we'll go back and see Trost. Yeah.
Easy. You come back to you head to the keep. 2 new guards out front. They do not recognize you. You can say, "Halt! Who's there? Who? How can we help?"
We are the Foreheads.
We're going down in numbers. 5. I thought it was 6. I thought it was 6 heads.
We're here to see Trost if we can. We spoke to him last night. We brought in the heads of the Chimera and had them checked.
Okay. I'll go see if I'll go see if he's free. And kind of one guard stands there. He runs in. And a little bit later, you see Trost emerge. Says, "Hello, gentlemen. Good to see you again. Didn't expect to see you so soon. Are you? What's going on?
Are we outside at the moment?
You're outside. Yeah, he's not taking you inside. He's just come out.
Trost, could we possibly speak inside about something quite pressing? We seem to have come across something that you may be able to help us with."
Okay. Yes, I have a little bit of time. Come in. And kind of leads you back into the same room.
Same room that we were in?
Yeah, same office. Seems to be his office.
I'll close the door behind us.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes. What is it? I do not have tons of time, but I can do a bit. I can help a little.
So
what can I do?
Gonna not speak and just kind of stand at the back, I guess, just to then start looking over anything I can.
Sure.
Are you? You go, little. Yep.
So we went to visit one of our friends this morning, and there was a guard stationed out front, and there seemed to be a bit of a crime scene, and we're deeply concerned about them, and we would like to find out some information if there is any to be had.
You speak of the Oracle? Kahir, was it?
Yeah.
I believe?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Rather interesting situation that. Been keeping a little bit of updates. I mean, it was just another missing person. You never really know where they end up. Usually they just go on an adventure, but then the place was ransacked, and it's a little more of a pressing concern that possibly someone was after, and we've not heard from her as well. It makes it seem a little more nefarious. What do you wish to know? What is it you? How can I help?
Well, it's a dear friend of ours, and it's urgent that we find them. And we were curious. I mean, the guard did an amazing job not clearing any information to in his eyes strangers, but to you, you know us, and we were wondering if you could share any information that you might have on the investigation, anything that we could go on to help find them.
And whether or not we can go inside and have a look ourselves to see if we can find out who this person was that took them. Maybe. Possibly.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage, Lyndall, because you were doing the bulk of the talking. The advantage is because of the help from you there, Fluffy.
Dirty 20.
Yeah. So yes, I can give you the information that we have so far, and as for if you want to check the place out yourself, I can see to that. You'll probably have to wait for. In fact, no, I can see to that. And he leans over and pulls out some paper and a quill and starts writing.
Cool.
And then at the very end, he closes it up and grabs a bit of wax, pours it over, and stamps it. And he says, "This is just a simple letter of recommendation, more or less, to say that, or letter of clearance. If you take this to the guard, let him unseal it. He should know to let you in, and you can be careful. Do not disturb it. If I hear that you have, remember this is on me, so I will not be too impressed. But as for the information we have, we were told that she was missing about 8 days ago, and we weren't sure who saw her last. I think the last person saw her 9 days ago, so we're not sure about that time period. But then kind of hadn't heard anything for about 5 days, and then one of the guards coming through found the place, found that the door was open and the place had been cleared out. It looks like they took all of her works and whatever was in there, looks like it was mostly cleared out. It seems like, and the ground was hacked out, like they were looking for, I don't know, something hidden. Looks like they were looking for something. Which is why we think it may be something a little more targeted than a random hit on an empty house. But feel free to go there yourselves. Currently, there's just a suspicion that it's someone from the underground just trying to get some easy wares while someone's missing. That's the best we've got at the moment.
The guard mentioned that a client, if you will, had possibly was the last person. Would you mind sharing their name with us? And maybe we could talk to them.
We did not get a name. One of the guards had someone approach them and say that she was missing, or that she wasn't there. He never made himself known. Simply came up, said that, and walked away. So,
when you say
description at all?
Yeah, when you.
The guard said he looked like a human, sounded possibly mid-30s. It was a very weird encounter by all reports.
You said the underground may be under suspicion for this. What do you mean when you say underground?
Well, there is the less than savory side of Miletus that I am trying to put a stop to, but they are an elusive group, and the one that leads the underground often sends people out to do little hits. So at the moment, we're wondering if it's him, the overseer. Always a pain, but just in the nature of this specificness of this attack, it seems more deliberate than a random heist.
Trost, 9-ish days ago, there was some returned in the south of the city near the well that got into a bit of a scuffle.
I mean, that was about 8 days ago, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, 8 or 9 days ago. What happened to the bodies of those
I believe
guys?
they were disposed of. The guards gathered them up, and I believe a priest went out and did some rituals, and then they were burnt, I believe.
Hmm. I mean, Trost, this is fantastic. Thank you very much. We're going to go back and we'll make.
If we find any information and you guys aren't already, like a guard or whatever isn't there, and you guys aren't aware of it, we will let you know what's going on.
I appreciate that. This is something that, whilst isn't at the highest urgency, any leads that I can get on the Overseer are greatly appreciated if that's where this leads.
And if for some reason we haven't found anything, do you care if we check back in with you to see if you have anything new? Even if it's just for a couple moments.
You can do so. I cannot always share everything, but what I can, I will try.
Yep. Do you have a name of the underground boss before we go, Trost?
It's known as the Overseer for us.
Overseer.
His name is elusive.
Much appreciated. Amos, what'd you find?
So while everyone was talking, I was just, I mean, it's probably not as necessary seeing he's already written us a letter, and I have a copy of the letter, so I can just use that now that I've seen it. But while I was looking around before I knew that he was writing that, did I see anything interesting on his desk or anything like that?
You saw some paperwork and stuff. Nothing of note. There was a troop orders movement that looks like it was about the orders to head up north for the soldiers about the chimeras. But that's really the only thing that's out. He seems like the desk is quite neat, and most of it seems relatively well kept and tucked away.
Okay. I guess we just head out of the keep and head back. What's the time now? Probably still a few hours, or
I got a couple hours before noon.
Yep.
Okay. I guess we can just head back to his shop.
I'm making my way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
So
easy. Head back. You head back.
Who has the letter at the moment? It'd be Lyndall.
I think he gave it to Lyndall.
Yeah, Lyndall.
So yeah, you make your way back to the place. You get there and it's still just the same guard standing out front.
As we're walking back there,
again?
as we're walking back there, just be like, is it concerning that we were the last ones? Does anyone else getting returned vibes that have come in and tried to take?
It does seem suspicious that after she gave us the directions to arrest us as rot, she then
disappears
and her place of work is ransacked. That is
maybe we need to look into where those returned had come from. Maybe there's some sort of a group or something that are looking at trying to hide this Vyas secret. Vyas, any more on this secret that you know that you don't know?
I mean, it's just on the mask, I believe. So Kahir would be helpful, but I guess without her, I could still possibly decipher it, but I'd need resources. I need the library or what Kahir would have.
Right.
Either of those things.
Okay. Well, maybe we can find something in Kahir's house or in his shop that they've missed or something.
Yeah, what's not been stolen.
Yeah,
approach the guard and hand him in the letter. And as I handed, I said, we'll let him know. We spoke to Trost, and he said we could.
And he kind of grabs the letter a little bit gingerly and looks at the seal and opens it up and friends in high places, I see.
We told you.
By all
Yes,
means,
sir.
if this is on Trost's word, then go in. But he has made a note that you are not to disturb the crime scene, just
We understand.
to investigate. So
Fluffy, you
I
wait
will keep
outside.
watch.
Yeah, I'll outside.
Keep the guard
He
jumping.
opens
That's
the
probably
door,
fair.
and as soon as you see in, you see that it's without windows. It's dark. When you were in, there was kind of lights around, like magic lights. There's no lights in here. It is not like pitch black, but it is dark inside. The light from the outside kind of spewing in through the door.
I'll summon my hexblade and cast.
Oh, I was about to
light.
say, Azov, can you assist?
Yeah.
Yeah,
As I
we-
would say it was pitch black. I would just.
You can light lamps and stuff with prestidigitation too, can't you?
Yeah, you can like do little fires. You notice the lamps do not have like wicks
Like
on them.
oil or okay, never mind.
But yeah, there's a Azoth lights his cast light and lights up the room with his massive sword. It makes the guard jumps back at that. He's like,
Do not worry,
okay."
it's just for light.
Just
I
a
just-
fancy torch.
makes
That's
it
a very
easier to
fancy
kill
torch.
chimeras.
And then as the light lights up the room, you see that the table has been the table that you spoke to her at has been turned over. The ground has scratches, has marks in it, in like gaps between like the flooring, and the passages on the side of the walls, the scrolls that were behind, all of it is gone.
No books.
Right.
Nothing.
So, without disturbing the scene as best I can, I want to kind of investigate the scratches on the ground, first of all.
Sure. Roll me an
Uh,
investigation check.
Do I not have to worry about disturbing the scene or anything like that? Because I don't want to get on Trost's bad side.
It's kind of like there's not much to disturb
Okay.
as far as like moving things around. Currently, you're just kind of looking over the gouges, so you're not really disturbing anything. You're not having to move anything to do this.
Okay. All
So you
right.
can just roll me a straight investigation.
Ooh.
And while he's doing that, I'm looking for like signs of physical harm, like blood and
Roll me an
and
investigation.
stuff.
Oh, no, he's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, dirty
Um,
trade
Interesting.
mate.
Yep.
investigation.
So you
Dirty 20 for me.
you note that it looks like someone has put something in like a crowbar, and has tried to pry things. You notice some of the boards are loose, and as you kind of like lift them, there's nothing underneath, but it looks like someone was prying at some boards to see if there was anything underneath. But as you investigate around, you don't see anything. What did you get, Lyndall?
20.
20.
Yeah, dirty 20.
You do notice a small smattering of blood in the kind of the back corner of the room.
Is
Not
it
much, but a little bit.
not a handprint or a footprint or just a sprinkle of blood.
Not a sprinkle as it is. More like it looks almost like spit, like it's been spat out.
I want to.
Is there any? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I was going to say.
I was
Is
just
there
going
any
to tell you guys
presence
about
of?
that. Is on.
Yeah. Is there any presence of Arcana around?
Um,
Do I have a way of checking that, or is that I'm not the best person?
You'd have to like
Yeah, I don't-
you have to like detect magic. It's a spell.
Yeah, you'd have to have the spell to detect magic. Okay. Is there any is Kahir's shop or place of work? Is it like just a singular room, or are there? Can we see
Pretty
any?
much. It's
places
just
that
like
you
this
go in?
circular hut,
Yeah,
or like not circular. It's like this
like a hexagon or something like that.
Yeah. It's like this like hexagonal hut that's around thank you very much.
Ooh.
Later has detect magic prepared. I just
Nice.
got a little message about that. Feel free to jump in, man. So yeah, Aleta is going to, upon you guys saying, is there like asking about anything magical? Aleta's like, I think I can help with that, and Aleta's going to say a few arcane words, and then I'm not detecting anything magical here. There's doesn't seem to be anything still here.
Matt, yeah.
Come on, boys. Hold on, give me a sec. Get out of YouTube.
Okay.
All right, sorry guys. Didn't want to jump in at an awkward time.
Oh, nah.
That's all right.
It's all good.
No, no.
No worries,
Nah.
man.
You've been
Nah.
with us the entire time.
Yep.
Come in.
So I've been playing Aleta as just
Like
Yeah, no,
you.
as it goes.
Listen, man, I gotta go back and like listen to all this lore stuff. I gotta actually know what I'm talking about now.
Yeah. Catch up on what your character missed.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, there's no overly apparent abundance of, I suppose, anything happening on the ground or on the floor. There's that blood mark on the back. There's no arcane presence, and there's no extra exits or entrance other than the hut that we're in. Right? That's kind of what we've gathered so far.
That's what you've gathered so far. Yeah.
Shit all, to be honest.
There was a point where when we came in last time, there was writings on the wall. Am I
different
remembering this
languages.
right? In all
There
kinds
were-
of languages,
There were
right?
plaques on the wall that all seem to
There were
say
plaques.
the same phrase in
And
different things, and they're
Those
gone.
are gone.
What is going on with my Discord right now?
Pretty much. There's like it seems like the place was cleared out, and you get the idea from the amount of stuff that you saw. One person couldn't clear all that. Not subtly.
Yeah, it has to be. Ziff, can I investigate I'll say the back door at this point if somebody wants to check the front for like forced entry, or was it or did they
There's
let
only one
somebody
entrance,
in?
isn't there?
There is only one entrance.
That's the
You can
entrance.
You can investigate the front entrance if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you roll me an investigation. You can see that it was forced. Or sorry, you actually roll me investigation.
Rolled a natural one, so that is a
It's
3 smoking.
it looks like it was possibly forced.
Okay.
Okay.
So there was no ounce of magic.
No ounce of magic.
Okay.
Ooh,
At this point,
actually, give me a second.
Meanwhile, I'm just having a chin wag with the guard out the front.
just chatting about feats of your strength.
Yeah, just been like, yeah, I'm an
Yeah,
athlete. Yeah, you know, I'm an athlete.
There is Aleta did detect a sense of magic.
Ooh.
She detected a sense of abjuration magic coming from
Abjuration.
there's kind of a central light that isn't on, like it has no magical power, like it has no magical light on it at the moment, but it seems to emanate like an abjuration type magic.
There's no way she can tell like when it was last activated or.
It's active at the moment.
Okay. Right. I think as later explains like the magic behind or the properties behind the light and what would need to be done to work.
So if you want a quick heads up about
Yep.
magic schools,
Yeah.
as you would know, something like light is typically evocation. Is a light spells are typically an evocation type spell. Abjuration magic is a little bit different.
Is that more illusory?
No, it's like protective spells, physical magical barriers, abilities, harm trespassers, banish the subject to another plane of existence. Jesus. Okay.
Roll me an intelligence check. Later. Or an arcana check. An arcana check.
3.
You're not really sure what it might be.
Arcana, what? 16 plus 8, 24.
Oh, 24. Okay.
I thought he said 3 as well. I'm like, oh no.
You got no idea. Okay. You've as someone that has done work for the follows a god and has done some work for the gods, and has spoken with oracles before, you know that it is not uncommon for some oracles do not like to be spied on by other oracles. And some of them have protections against that.
Okay.
So knowing,
I think I silently or without telling the rest of the party, and correct me, how I use up all my 3rd level spells?
You've got two third level spell slots,
Yeah.
I think. So you've got only used. I don't think detect magic is 3rd level. I don't think you've used any.
No, it's only 2nd level. In that
Yeah,
case,
so you've still got both of them.
I'd like to counterspell the.
It's not a spell is not being cast. You are not.
Specifically, okay. So it's not like a dispel magic type thing.
It's counterspell is not dispel magic. Dispel magic is
Right. Oh, that's an actual spell name, dispel magic.
Yes.
Oh, okay, well, there you go. All right. Well, then I just explained to the guys, like, you should probably be wary of what we're doing. We don't know who's watching.
Could it not have been Kahir's own dome of
that's what I was
protection?
thinking.
I will say this later. You know that
Yeah.
someone's not watching. That would be divination magic.
Okay, right. So this is more.
Abjuration is more shielding than it is about like perceiving.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's,
Possibly has cast something to.
Keep prying at it.
do we know that if a spell is still active, does that mean the person is still alive? Do we know that, or does anyone know that?
You don't know if it's from a spell or from the
A rune
object
or
itself.
something like that. Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll explain the properties of the spell to everyone in the group, or at least what I know of the spell and what is currently being.
Can I then attempt to inspect the object that appears to be
So
emanating?
yeah, you can like get a boost up and have a look. Roll me an investigation check up there.
Investigation? Okay.
Yeah, you're kind of like looking around at this. What is like almost like a chandelier, like lantern thing that's hanging from the roof.
10.
Yeah. You notice a small little compartment, kind of indent. It's not super hidden. It's kind of like because of how high it is, you just wouldn't see it with where it is, but it's just kind of a little compartment above.
Is there anything in the compartment?
You can open it up, yeah.
Don't piss off Trust.
You find a small gem.
Does the gem have anything written on it?
Nope.
Is it opaque or a cut? Does it have a color?
It is opaque and it's red. It's an opaque red gem. And it has some little metal filigree kind of wrapping around it.
Is the guard watching me while I'm doing this?
Yes.
Right. Does he see me pull the gem out?
Chatting with it.
I mean,
I thought I was talking to him.
You're talking to him, are you? Okay.
Yeah, I
well,
was talking. He was
did say
outside.
Previously, they were having a chinwag.
We were having a. I did say.
Persuasion to like keep his attention with you as opposed to.
I'm
doing
pretty
what he's
interesting, so I should get advantage. Yeah.
I don't think that's how that works.
Talking about the tournament last, whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, it wasn't that late. It was only a week ago. That's. Oh, come on.
Rolled so bad tonight.
I have rolled so bad. What was it? Persuasion.
Yeah.
That's a natural 3.
He's watching. Are you trying to be subtle about it?
Yeah. Okay. So he's seen me go like get a boost.
He's watching you like. So I'm assuming you're on someone's shoulders because this is like you know,
Yeah,
above.
correct.
So he's watching you kind of inspect things and he's kind of watching
on the
curiously.
shoulders. Okay.
Mhm.
Does he
Yeah,
see me pull
I
the
have
gem out
minus
of
1
the
strength, so
compartment?
this will be fun.
Are you trying to do it subtly?
Yes.
Roll me a sleight of hand check.
Okay. this
Come
is
on,
where-
come on.
Come on.
Advantage. Sorry.
Oh,
because
disadvantage.
stacked on top of someone, and like
He's rolled a
very
natural one,
obviously-
haven't you?
Doesn't matter. I've rolled a natural 20 and I've got +10.
But disadvantage though.
You said disadvantage.
Go on, roll another 20, another 20.
Don't be a 1.
19.
Let's
You're
go.
kind of, as you're looking up there, you kind of move, and then as you move around to the side and kind of use your head to block the vision, you just quickly open it up, see it, and just pull it out, and then close it up, and then kind of keep looking, and just keep inspecting.
That was sick.
And then as I drop down, nothing up there. No, it was a waste of time. Damn it.
Is there
Loud
anything
enough that the guy can hear.
You
does
go
the
listen
spell
to-
activate as he takes it out, or is it still?
I believe detect magic is an instant thing, like it happens in the moment.
So you'd have to cast again to see if it's still
you have to
casting
cast
or not.
again,
Okay.
yeah.
That's all right.
See
then.
the light coming through.
Okay. Oh, I think we're done investigating the hut. Based on kind of what we've seen,
Nothing here.
it might be worth investigating the underground.
Well,
If we're trying to find key here.
oh, you guys are still talking. Never mind. I'm still outside.
But
Okay,
no,
they
we
might-
start to make we start to
Magic is
make
only
our way
level
out.
1, by the way. Later, so you've only used a level 1 spell slot.
Beautiful, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if
Oh, actually, it's
You know what I mean?
concentration up to 10 minutes. You do see.
Yeah, I
You
thought it was-
continue to sense.
10 minutes somewhere.
You sense magic in this way. You can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object. So yes, you see an aura around this crystal that, as it comes down and around, well, you actually see the aura around everyone and their
Everybody.
items because all of you are carrying magical items. But you also notice that the crystal is magical.
All right, cool. I'm just gonna.
when we
Take a mental note.
Amos,
Everyone's different items as well.
yeah, Amos, I have an idea. If we take this crystal outside, is there a possibility it could change what the environment looks like inside? If it's some sort of shield protection or something.
Possibly.
I don't know. I don't suspect that it would, but I mean, maybe. I
suggestion.
think it's worth trying.
All right, I'll head outside with the gem hidden away in my wherever, and then just
Prison wallet.
so yeah.
Keys-
wallet.
keys to
You
it.
take it outside. The room doesn't seem to change at all.
Yeah.
As you leave.
Okay, so I guess at this point we're probably getting close to the time we need to head towards the 12.
You've probably got an hour now. Yep. So you can probably head
hour?
over there soon. Yep.
Needed to be 20 minutes early.
Yeah, we need to be 20 minutes early, so probably start heading over now, I guess.
We've got to fill out a new client form. First time with GP. Gotta
Yeah,
fill that
something
out.
like that.
Contact details. next to
Medicare
the-
number and or
Yeah,
next
yeah,
and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
As we walk away, 'cause I'm assuming we're walking away from the hut now, like as a group, and the guards
Yeah.
still there.
I-
Like, did you find anything? Like, did we get anything? What was it like in there? What happened in there?
and I explained to Fluffy what we'd found and what we think may have happened in
Did-
a way that I
Yeah,
relate
a
to
bit of blood.
I want to hand the note over to you, Amos, as well. That way we can maybe use
Oh, yeah.
this in some way
Is
down the road with your feet.
is it worth going and having a look at her house? Do we know where she lived?
You don't know where she lives.
Is that something we can find
Sure,
out?
we can ask around and find out. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know if there's the temple, the local temple of Phaenax, or whatever. Somebody who she might be.
You know that
Or
there isn't
maybe
really a temple of
Vias.
Phaenax.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
okay. Vias,
uh,
would he know? Yes, Vias, would you know where she lived?
I do not know. I only dealt with her in a at her shrine, which is what us oracles tend to call our places.
Hmm.
Well, maybe
Well,
this
look,
guard can tell us or help us. But go
I
ahead.
was going to say that guard said that there was going to be investigators coming later.
Yeah, they're
and,
probably they're probably about to rock up pretty soon,
mm.
as far as the
Um,
timings go.
And with this crystal we found, I wonder if once they're gone, they may, once they don't find anything, because we didn't find anything, they might not have a guard in front of the house and if we come back later tonight, we have this little gem. I wonder what would happen if we destroyed it. If anything would change within the house. It seems to be still active, possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I believe that the gem is literally just more like a warding crystal of some sort, where it provides a magical barrier to an area that stops intrusive spells or thoughts from entering. I think it's
In
more
essence,
like
the
that, Ali.
barrier came with us, right? With this crystal.
Correct. The barrier is following us, according to Aleda. But we shall come back to this. I think it's time we head.
Time's getting close to head over probably to the 12 at this point.
We don't want to be late.
We don't want to be late for the 12.
God forbid we do that.
Mm.
So we head towards the 12, I guess.
Okay. Everyone starts heading over towards the hall that is where the 12 reside. The council. So you head over there, and you think you're about half an hour before noon-ish, and you kind of rock up, and there's a gentleman standing at the door, or standing just inside the door, kind of at like almost like a concierge type spot, and he's, yes, how can I help you?
We're the three heads.
Oh my god.
4, 5,
Three heads, and he kind
6.
of looks down at like his. I do not have anything for the three heads.
I think what he meant to say was
Ignore him.
what he meant to say was that the saviors of Miletus. Check. Is there a
The Slayer of Chimeras, possibly.
plural?
Oh yes.
Plural.
I was told of a group of 6, sorry, that had slayed the 2 chimeras. Yes, I believe you're up. And he kind of looks at the paper. Up next, I think we've already had the Merchants Guild come in earlier this morning. So yes, if you would like to take a seat, I will call upon you when the council is ready.
Cool. We go sit down.
That's good.
How should I announce you?
Is there a drinking fountain around?
There's some like water that you can get. Yeah.
There's gossip always around the drinking fountain.
There is a noticeable lack of talking around.
It's not a courtroom.
How
Nah, it's
do
more
we
like an
announce?
I
can just
genuinely
announce you as
like
those that slayed the
6 heads.
chimeras.
The 6 heads of something. Although there is not 6 of us.
I like the 6 heads. I think
Still
that's just
That's
funny.
still cool.
Yeah.
I like
Varya
the 6
can be our
heads.
six, but when Varya slays, we're still 5.
It's just but I mean, we could just be the 6 heads. I think that's
I'm
hilarious.
telling you, the 6th head is Azoth's ego. It has to be.
Oh yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I mean
6 heads? The 6 heads.
the 6 heads.
What?
6 heads?
6 and 3,
Chimera.
5 and 3/4.
What? Why? There's 6 heads of chimera.
I like it.
You can't just say 6 heads.
The 6
I think
heads.
this is the lower. That way, if we're ever captured, they'll expect that they won't have caught 4 of us. They'll have 4 of us, but then there'll always be 1 around the corner.
That's a good
ready to
point.
jump in.
That's a good point.
And those guys, or the other way around, they're always expecting one more.
Yeah.
He has a bit of a
Just
chuckle to
one
himself as he writes down the 6 heads of chimera. That's not bad.
I like it.
Please take a seat. I'll announce you. I'll call you up when it's your time. Shouldn't be too long now. They should just be wrapping up with the group that they're with now.
Very well.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
We'll head over. There's kind of a waiting area that you can take a seat. And yeah, you wait. There's kind of just it's a very quiet area. This kind of large marble court, like just waiting area that you're in. And you see basically there is a set of large ornate doors, and then either side of that is a staircase that leads up. You can't really see where to, but kind of leads up and around to the sides. But it is very much you walk in. There's a whole bunch of seating area, which is kind of the waiting area where you are, and the kind of area where the gentleman was off to the right, and then these large doors in front of you.
Is this heavily guarded or not?
There was guards out the front, but they kind of just let you in, and then there's 2 more guards who look much better equipped, standing at the 2 doors that lead into the what you presume to be the main theater.
Theater.
Or the main area.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Main court. After about half an hour, the gentleman comes up and says, so I believe they're ready to see you now. If you'd like to come and follow me, I shall announce you, and then you can have your greeting. And he walks over and opens up and gestures for all of you to follow. Once you're all following, he walks over and opens up the doors and walks out in front. And as you walk through the doors, you see in front of you these 12 seats, and each one of them seating with a different, very well presented individual. And you notice that it's more that it is, all the seats up there, but there is one seat that is center, and then there is the other 11 kind of all scattered around. It's not like it's not like sided. It's just kind of a dotting of them, and then kind of as you walk in on either side, there are various rows of seats that looks like an area where some commoners are, and there does appear to be some commoners in there at the moment, just kind of kind of watching the affairs. And everyone kind of looks as you come in, and he says, presenting the 6 heads of Chimera, the slayers of the 2 chimeras outside of Miletus. Please step forward.
Play us in. No, I'm just kidding.
How's it go?
No, there is no like. There's a little bit of clapping from kind of the commoners.
The 12
you present forward. There's a smattering of human, and there is a Triton and a Satyr.
Okay.
So no Leonins.
No Leonins.
Okay.
Racist.
Good. No. Good thing.
You, as you all, step forward, the gentleman steps back and kind of closes the door behind you. And the one of the 12, who is kind of the front and center, stands up and raises his hand, and everyone stops clapping. Says, "Welcome. The 12 welcomes you. I did not expect to see you among them, Lyndall. That is interesting.
Gonna come.
Please come forward. I wish to meet all of your companions." He kind of gestures forward. There's kind of an area kind of closer up that you can stand a little bit more in the center of this kind of circular room.
Yeah, I just look around and walk straight up. Walk up as far as I would know how as far to come up.
Kind of the center of the room. It's almost like a court where you'd have like one person in the middle kind of on trial, and in this kind of situation it's more of like you guys just stand there and they...
Oh, I'm just getting mad. Like Jedi Master Lounge.
Well, I'm imagining the Harry Potter like court.
Oh yeah.
It's along the lines of that.
Just like a bit bigger.
Yeah, okay.
Better decorated, more on and more welcoming. It's not like
it's not a dungeon.
It's
No,
not a dungeon.
that's what I'm imagining in terms of like people around, and then you've got like a group.
Yeah, it is. It is still a more welcoming environment. Like the place is warm and kind of like is well lit and quite well decorated. You get the idea that this is the place that they do meetings. And that a court would the actual justice courts are different. But you stand there and he says, "Well, congratulations on slaying the 2 chimeras. That was at a very spectacular feat, and we the 12 are all very appreciative of for what you've done.
You're
So,
welcome.
Yes, we thank you greatly for that.
You're,
Yeah, it
you're
was
welcome.
was not specifically easy. And I want to introduce the group in individuals. So this is Fluffy,
Hi.
and Amos, and Azoth, and Aleda, and I don't, and Vyas.
Bias.
And-
We are
And bias.
we are the 6 heads of Chimera.
Which makes sense
as
for
we
now.
introduced, Yeah.
Which makes sense for now.
Okay. Well, yes. Well, we got you in to thank you for what you did. And I believe you spoke to Throtus about. He spoke that there and to Trost about the reward that was to be put out. We wish to extend our thanks personally, as those that oversee Miletus, and to give you your bounty as directly.
We appreciate
Fantastic.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And how much is it?
Please go on.
You will be able to go and see the gentleman out the front, and he will write you up, he will write you up a check that you will be able to go to take to the bank that we have, the vault, where you will be able to withdraw 1,800 gold pieces.
Each.
Everyone's like trying to hide a grin off their face.
900
Yeah.
per chimera. 900 per chimera was the price to be set forward.
One was
If you're
bigger than
slain,
you.
don't-
One was bigger than the other.
Not bad.
In all the work we've done, that seems about average right now. Yes.
Almost
Yeah.
died.
No pushback necessary.
Do you even care about that?
That would be
We-
acceptable.
Hmm.
I'm just kidding.
That seems
No
fair.
amount of gold will bring back those poor souls. No.
We appreciate we appreciate the bounty. But we do have, if we're able to, and you can say no if it doesn't suit, but we do have some other business in town, and I was curious if there is any information that you could help us with.
What information do you seek?
The Oracle Kahir. What standing did she have with the 12, if any at all?
Well, as an oracle of Phaenax, standing was not particularly reputable, but if you wish to know whether or not she was well liked, she had very little to deal with the members of the 12, as far as I'm known, and he looks around at the others. None of them speak up.
Do we I look around and when he looks around just to see if there's any like squirming or anything.
Yeah, roll me an insight check.
Oh, I rolled like horseshit today. Insight. No, it's actually not too bad. 15.
You notice maybe one of them seems a little bit like they might know, like they might have.
I clock them.
Do they have like nameplates or things up or?
I'm gonna say
You're not
no,
saying,
so don't
like,
think
titles?
of 12 names.
No. I mean,
Just for that one.
That person's name, yeah.
Make it super easy if it was the Satyr or the Triton.
No. It's
Oh, damn, okay. One of the 8 humans. No, sorry.
one of the it's an elderly gentleman.
Okay.
Who as Lyndall has lived here for a while, Lyndall does recognize.
Ooh. Oh, you go on, Lyndall. I want to ask a question as well in a minute.
Is there anything else
so-
I can help you with?
Go ahead.
Lyndall?
Go ahead. I think that was about it. We just started the conversation.
I heard that there's a Champions League coming up, and I'm wondering if, through some goodwill, whether you could put me in. I would be most interested to compete, and I have competed at tier 2 and tier 3 levels before, and have just
There's a
beaten
very
2
large jump to
chimeras.
the champions, but,
Have beaten 2 chimeras.
yes, but not single-handedly.
I did a lot.
Well,
This is-
wish to have do you wish to have a sponsor, or will you be paying your own entry and you just wish to have your name put forward?
Well, what's
That's entry.
how much is entry?
And he looks around, and one of the other 12, who looks younger than the others and very well built, says entry is 500 gold. It covers prizes and the resources needed for when people die.
I'm looking at Fluffy
Says it.
and just kind of giving him the nod, sort of situation.
Amos, my friend Amos here, and maybe the other guys we will front up the fee. We will be sponsoring ourselves. I'll sponsor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, we will have a letter written up and you can have your entry. But if you've only fought at 2 and 3, I would very much be careful. Although you should know that.
You gotta go and you gotta start somewhere. I'm excited.
That's what level 2s and 3s are for.
You also have to end somewhere, apparently.
He says, is there any other matters to attend to?
My friend Lyndall asked about Kahir because we're quite close. We met with Kahir a few times actually, and we have done some work for her some few times in the past actually. And being that she's currently missing, we've already spoken to Trost about possibly helping in the investigation to try and find her. So if anything does become knowledgeable about her disappearance, please.
You will have to take that up with Trost. He will oversee all that side of things, and then he reports to us. So you speak to Trost, and if Trost deems that you need the information,
Do you
he'll give it to you.
report your findings to Trost?
What do you mean? We
If
don't do
you hear
investigations
things-
ourselves. We handle that on to Trost.
I wasn't saying you. If you find something out, do you report them to Trost?
That is my duty as part of the 12.
Very well. We will speak to Trost then.
Anything more?
Azoth, anything? Huh? You got anything?
Says, all right. Well, if that's the case, you are dismissed, and thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
It's the kind of situation where you need to walk backwards.
They're not royalty.
I kind of get the feeling I want to punch this guy in the head at some point,
Yeah, the
but
governing body.
Bro, me
I got the
too.
feeling he doesn't like you.
yeah, it did. Not flog.
Yes, as we're leaving, can I ask Lyndall, do you know him?
Just wait a second.
Okay.
So he says, just go and see Cleon out the front. He was the gentleman that walked you in.
Hang on.
Lyndall, stay here.
Yes, sir.
And he
I just
gestures-
look over at Lindor as he's walking back, and just kind of look.
We
at
shall
confused.
call a recess. Meet back in, say, 15 minutes. And he strikes a hammer. He gets up and gestures over to Lindell to come over while the rest of you leave.
I turn over to Amos. Did anyone get the feeling that that guy knew Lyndall more than what he would let on?
And
That guy's a dickhead.
that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh,
Let's go.
Yeah, it
didn't
is.
even get our money.
Wow.
Haven't got money.
This
1800.
check
Well,
bounces. I swear.
1800 gold. Holy crap.
Vias doesn't need any gold, so that's between 5.
Yeah,
Actually, it's a good point.
500 of that is probably going to go to Fluffy's champions match.
I've got-
very worried he might die during.
I've got gold.
I
already
Based on-
have
based on
some
what
gold.
Based on what
I
Pebble said,
didn't
I'm now
agree
quite
to fund this.
concerned that he's
It
actually
would be
like,
360 each.
360
We
each.
split it evenly.
So I can fund it like for Fluffy, like
Alright.
partially of it.
Take
So
my
you
money.
guys don't have to put in, but
Is it the same sort of process,
I bet he's gonna die.
Dale, as the last one that I was in? Or is it like a legit...
This is like a... You've seen Champions Leagues before.
Yep.
These are like a typically 8 or 16, depending on how many fighters are there.
Yep.
Typically 8, because usually most aren't... There's not enough fighters to fill 16 slots.
Sure.
And they are full on.
Yep.
Like, these are... like, the commanders of, like, regiments that are battle-hardened warriors.
Yep.
Like, this is like...
Yeah, but
Proper-
they didn't do
proper
Chimera.
scary.
But what I'm talking about, like, is it the same as...
It's a one-on-one duel.
Yep.
Typically, there's some form of gimmick or, you know, some extra catch of the fight, depending on what's happening. So sometimes it's been that the fight is partial, like there's like a lot of the arena is underwater. Sometimes it's been that the fight is actually on like small, like almost floating islands that they're fighting on. Sometimes it's a specific weapon.
Okay. I'm excited. That's going to be good fun.
Sometimes it's the goblet of fire.
Fluffy's gonna die.
Have to fight a dragon.
Sometimes you have to save your girlfriend from the water mermaid.
Under the water.
I genuinely think we're gonna have to go into the underground to go find this overseer person.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
This is what's
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah, I don't know how we find out any more information.
Trial this.
Daughter.
What the trial this fucking old dude from the 12 that looked.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that as well. So we could possibly split up and do like a
Yeah.
2-2 kind of thing.
Dual mission.
I mean, I'm going to be...
I
I'm
heard
going
that was a
to...
good session. A little bit different.
was
It
great.
Just like purely.
No, it was
roleplay,
good.
no
Yeah, it was cool.
combat.
I liked it.
It was
Yeah,
kind of
I like
where the session was at was kind of that kind of like
Yeah.
It
We...
required a bit
Combat
more
we had.
story progression.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to see Fluffy roll like shit.
Oh, I rolled like an absolute turd tonight.
So
Seriously, dude. I don't think I rolled
Didn't get
over
combat
it.
with
Really
a
glad
bunny.
you could join for a little bit there, Matt.
Yeah.
The video
Nah,
will
all
be
good, man.
Probably a day or so, maybe.
Yeah, I've got Premiere Pro again now, so I can. Yeah, the last week's one will go up. Probably tomorrow, and then the next one will probably go up the day after.
Yeah, and I think you can actually watch the stream for like a day or so you can go through. There's not a ton. It'll just be good for you to catch up on like what events transpired.
Yeah.
It wasn't a crazy amount of stuff, but
You can, yeah, you can rewatch the live
there
stream.
was no combat today.
Yeah, no combat. We still
Yeah.
have all the Chimera heads as well. We need to go try and figure out where we
So
want to go.
the bulk of the story was you rocked up at the place. You had to speak with the garrison commander who basically gave you the rundown of what to do. You spent a night. You went to Kahir's place, and there was a guard out the front. And then you had to go back to Trost and then head back and do a bit of back and forth as far as like trying to work out what's going on because of various bad rolls that didn't allow you to do things.
You were there for that. It was more just like when we were in the tavern.
Freaking rabbit.
Yeah, there was
And
some
Azov
stuff that
chickened
was
out
just
in
general.
hitting on
Oh,
someone.
Hitting on
so
Hera, that was
bad.
good, yeah.
So bad. Need to work on that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a feeling.
Lindell gave the performance of a lifetime.
Yes.
There was, I gave a little spiel on like some heroic stories if you want to listen to those.
Always.
There's
Love
me,
some more.
me talking about some of that, which I think you might actually really like, as far as like some of the world building stuff. So give that a listen. You might have some questions.
I like sessions like this with the that kind of have the whys of a lot of stuff. Which I mean, it is a lot. I mean, obviously, it's a lot for Lindell.
If I kept questioning,
I'm excited for stuff like
that.
Maybe not somewhere you would have liked.
Arrested and thrown in jail.
But like,
interesting.
Held in contempt.
I was tempted.
That guy's a dickhead.
I was gonna keep going.
Um,
I bet they've all got shady figures that work behind them and feed them information and shit. So that's
great
why
power, great corruption.
I love how the default reaction to any political like entity
person is like
that.
Shady.
Is that? I love it.
I also love that, like, yeah, you guys know nothing about these people. Well, most of you don't know that much about them, but your immediate thing is they're bad, even though they're quite a good democratic leadership in comparison to the kingship and monarchies that rule all over the other areas. You're like, no, fuck democracy.
It's definitely much more about people.
It's not really democracy, but
no, but you got to figure that there's a better representation of the people just within 12 instead of one person, right?
I'm calling it now, 100% that the leader's Lindell's dad. I'm calling it.
I did think he was a family member as well, to be honest.
You would probably note that the percentage of people that you've seen in Miletus is probably represented in what you've seen in the 12.
Oh, as in
it is mostly human. Yeah, it is
right.
mostly human with a couple of satyrs and a couple of and there are tritons and satyrs among them, and there is maybe 1 in 100 Leonin. Like Leonins are not common in the Polis.
Wait, was Trost human?
Trost was human.
No, Trost is a Minotaur. Yeah, Minotaur.
Minotaur's around, but like,
yeah.
I mean, from what you guys know of Minotaurs,
they're more or less the working class, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's not that. It's just that they're not the kind of people to sit on a council.
Yeah.
They're thick.
I'm gonna put up the BS that you have to, probably.
Big double C.
But he was a short man. He was like 5'8" or something.
It was like,
it was 5'8".
Kind of like.
Yeah.
I specifically
Tob.
wrote down his height.
Yeah, so did I.
I thought it was fun to do a little like.
Yeah.
I wrote.
Minotaur.
Yeah.
It's a little flavor, man.
Yeah, Minotaur 5'8", older. I didn't write fat, but I should have wrote fat too.
Gaming, I don't know if like it still has like story to come, but did we investigate his hut as much as we could? Like, is there more to it, or is that metagamey? If there's still more to do there.
There's more to do there, so I don't want to say anything either way.
Okay, cool.
So there might be, there might not be. It just, I don't.
There's a bookcase.
Don't want to reveal too much from behind the DM screen that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Because I was drawing a blank on what else to do. To be honest,
we need to strike while the iron is hot.
When we walk in and you're like, "There's basically nothing here," I was like,
well, shit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Should have let me come inside.
Just do the pivot real quick.
Should have let me come in.
We got away with that. I can't believe I rolled a 20 and then a 19.
On disadvantage, yeah.
On disadvantage, that's kind of nutty.
That's just crazy.
We find Kahir and she's pissed because you stole her freaking protection.
I'll give it back.
I have a question. Someone picked up a dagger back in the pools of Orestes.
A dagger?
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Not the pools of Orestes, sorry, the pools of Lith.
Pools of Lith.
Someone picked up a dagger back then.
Who did pull that up? Who picked that up?
It sounds familiar.
Small dagger.
Yeah.
Azov picked it up.
Azov's got it? Okay, I'll have to let you know something soon.
I still have my flask of the pools of Lith that I want to try and
clasp. Oh my god, you still got that fucking water.
Yeah. I want to try and either give it to somebody or try and sell it to someone.
Lore,
Also,
We're
we've
on
still
the
got
tooth
those.
necklace.
We've still got those stones as
Oh,
well.
you still got your tooth necklace. Yeah.
Truth
Yeah.
necklace, yuck.
I got the potion of climbing that I've got to use at some point as well.
Potion of climbing.
Oh, you
Mm.
still have the mask.
I have three. I have 3 masks.
No, very specifically.
Azov,
Azoth still has.
Azos,
the mask.
Azos still has the mask. Yeah.
Definitely
I would
does,
say you've probably inspected that over the course of
The last 4 days, 5 days.
yeah
Well,
8 days.
I think we showed it. We definitely showed it to Vias when we first picked him up.
Yeah, we showed it to Vias,
Arrested
yeah.
Rock,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
but
Can I-
something-
And yeah, and now that we've got it later, she can probably have a look at it, can't she?
Yeah.
Do you have identify? I don't think you do.
Oh, not identify, no.
No, that's how you find out what a magic item is before you were like attuned to it or try to use it. But I would say that. Where is my thing?
a clay death mask with magical properties, but I don't know what those properties are.
You're about to find out, I think.
I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
Because I would say that after the amount of time you've
Clay
spent with it,
death mask or the gold
the mask.
Vias mask.
The gold Vias
The
mask.
The Arestus's death mask. So it says,
Oh,
while,
yeah.
while you wear this,
Oh.
you can move up, down, across vertical surfaces, and upside down along ceilings while leaving your hands free.
Oh, so it's like gravity.
You
It's
have a
like
climbing speed
Spider-Man.
equal to your walking speed. However, it does not allow you to move this way on a slippery surface, such as one covered with ice or oil.
It's
You
like
have
in
the equivalent
Spider-Man.
of slippers of spider climbing on a mask.
That's sick. That's
That's
dope.
pretty cool.
That's
I thought
dope.
you were talking about the golden mask with the.
No, the
Clay,
clay.
this was the clay mask.
The
that you
clay
got
death
from-
mask.
from
Arestus's-
Arestus's tomb.
Yeah, cool.
Spider-Man mask. Holy.
It actually was worth you taking. That's incredible.
I thought
Well-
for sure something crazy was going to happen when he pulled the mask
told-
off to you.
I told the guys when we, as we were starting, like, because when we leveled up and stuff, and I picked spells or whatever, I chose to switch. I got fly, and now I mean that still might be useful.
You can always
But-
change spells when you level up.
But look, if I
Oh, do you have the option to change spells when you level
This-
up? To a certain degree.
this where I
I'm
can,
a
I can
little
always-
I'm a little nicer with that because you guys are first. Like a lot of you guys are first time, so like I don't want to be like, no, you chose the spell, you must use it,
Yeah,
unless
okay.
you're a certain person
That's
standing
good
above
stuff.
me that has them all written down.
Okay,
In a book.
right. There's a couple of spells that I've picked that I'm like, haven't had really the best chance to use them.
always give this mask to someone to use if like I want to use if I have to use fly or something.
I was gonna say we
So-
still have the stones that we picked up from the pools of Lith and the harpies. So I don't know if they're gonna come into it as well.
What were
You
they
can
like?
expect-
Little,
you would have
like
expected
prayer
them.
stones
You just,
or whatever?
They're just they're more of like prayer or like tokens of that god than
Yeah.
anything.
The
You do
green
know they are
sand
they are very well made.
legends.
I imagine them being those things like you would see, like you would go to the market and you would buy them as like patronage to the gods. And carry
Yeah.
them
We,
to the market.
we could possibly use them.
You would
as
set 'em on
persuasion
certain areas.
I have-
tools or
Yeah.
something.
I have 5 of them.
Yeah, you're a bit of a hoarder.
I've
You just
got-
a
I've got-
bunch of shit.
I got one for Athreos, Erebos, Keranos, Mogus, and Thassa.
Masks.
No,
No,
the
And,
the
you've got
stones.
little
These
tokens.
these yeah.
Little like jade, like this opaque jade stone.
I also have a
I've still
spell.
got those starry feathers as well, actually.
I also have a spell scroll
Yeah,
of
do something with
sleeping.
those, that'd be cool.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. Did you say
Ooh.
Yeah,
that?
that's right. You
Did
do have the. Oh,
Ooh,
You have the scroll of sleep. Yeah.
I have the spell scroll of sleeping.
I got nothing good.
not yet. That's because you
Pretty
just
much.
joined.
I've been here the whole time and I've got nothing. I've got a freaking tooth necklace.
Hell
Waiting
yeah.
Whatever.
Alright, guys.
Waiting for it to do something cool. We just look at it every night. Like
Just keep
At
rattling in it, freaking people
There
out.
was a chance that people got a disease, so at least that didn't end up happening.
Dang,
Ooh.
bird disease.
No, not bird disease. Actually, that was in the Court of Arestus.
Ah,
Did you say something?
Cool.
There was something with the dagger that was picked up, or that's coming later. It's something not.
I was just trying to work out who had it.
Oh, okay.
Who wants a dagger? Hey, I got
And make a note. I'm gonna slip it into one of Fluffy's bags later, just in case it explodes.
You're quite happy having this dagger. You don't want to let it go.
It was really nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was ornate, wasn't it? It was an ornate dagger.
Nice
Yeah.
ornate dagger.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually what I mentioned before. While I was using Detect Magic, I would have liked to have taken note of all the different schools of magic that everyone had on them, on their persons.
Oh, okay. That. Oh, okay. I got to do some bloody stuff now.
There's
Wait, we give our own schools of magic.
some whispers.
Your different items. Some items would have things of magic.
Yeah.
I believe. You note a lot of enchantment magic.
Okay.
In fact, most of it is enchantment. And you note, I believe it would be. Which one is it to cast that spell?
I don't know my schools.
I don't know my schools that well either. And a little bit of abjuration magic from a couple of them as well.
Okay. There's no like radiant or not radiant. What's it called? Let me get my schools.
So there's abjuration, conjuration, divination, enchantment, evocation, illusion, necromancy, and transmutation. You do note probably, and most of it's just enchantment, and that makes sense. Most items, no matter what they are enchantment magic, because they have to be enchanted. I believe that's how that works. But you do note that there is some abjuration and one a little bit of, I would probably say, illusion magic to do with a certain satyr's feet. And something that you've probably picked up on by now. Although he's got hooves, he's very quiet.
Yeah. Okay.
No clip clopping around.
You've never heard him. You've never heard him step.
Yeah, you never hear those clip clops.
Yeah.
Every time you say something, you're just like, oh, what the?
It's not something you weren't
It is
aware of
small
it
too.
until you saw that they were like that there was something magical there. But now that you've seen that, you're like, I don't think I've heard him step.
There's just something unsettling about watching him move. You're just like, something's off.
He's a regular guy.
Like
He's
he's
got
on, like
illusion.
he's on,
Yeah.
This guy.
he's on mute.
5'2" satyr or whatever it is just never makes a note, never makes a sound.
It's not like it's his sound's lagging, but you just never hear it. Like he's walking, and then you hear him walking like a minute ago.